in the chaos, no grip, no feel. Pete shouting order, Sam still checked out. It's a miracle, anything gets it out. Backfire, it's all a mess. Broadcast the circus, can't second guess. Wobbly kneecap stumbles in the haze. Nobody knows who's steering this craze. Backfire, it's all a mess. Broadcast the circus, can't second guess. Wobbly kneecap stumbles in the haze. Nobody knows who's steering this craze.
Good evening, TCR fans, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV, the TCR Challenge Cup, season number 25. Welcome to rounds 7 and 8 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, also affectionately known as Mosport. I am Jay Corey, apparently Grandmaster Corey the Prophet. I swear we're not a cult, and unfortunately, we don't have the dulcet tones of Pete Bingham tonight. He's away for tonight, but we do have the mean, lean, and 90% clean Sam Boozin, the replacement. Sam, how are we doing tonight?
With my mic on is better. Doing great, Jay. That's all good. Lean and 90% good. Geez, you're ninth with me. Hello, everybody.
Good to see you, Sam. Yeah, hopefully. Well, actually, no. Let's be honest. Without Pete here and his expertise, it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster night. Expect many technical difficulties, but me and Sam will try our very best for your entertainment. But I'll tell you what, I'm very warm tonight, as most people in the UK and Europe as well. What's the temperature where you are at the moment, Sam?
It went over 30 today, and it's like almost 26
God.
inside. Yeah.
Yeah, about the same then. Yeah, so everybody who's watching on the broadcast, we've got the lovely Lady Cupcake in the chat right now, the incredible Sir Alan as well. Please keep yourselves hydrated. Every time we make a mistake, take a drink, and by that I mean something with the letters and numbers H, 2, and O.
But we've just been invited to a 3-upper because apparently it's pretty cold.
Yeah? Okay. You know what? I'll stay with my water straight from the fridge. Let me just have a quick sip. Everybody else, bottoms up. Ah, refreshing. But welcome to Canadian Time Motorsport. I will not do any more moist noises like that for the rest of the stream, I promise. So it is rounds 7 and 8 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. That is the sprint feature of a 20-minute start race, and we go on to a 40-minute feature. The 40-minute feature with the fuel tanks that we have modified into these cars means there is a very high chance of needing to do a pit stop. With slightly warmer track temperatures today, I'll be very shocked if anybody even attempts a zero stopper, as we got a really nice power slide into the corner just there. I think that was Logan McKinsey. But what do you think we can expect from tonight's race, Sam? We've got high temperatures. We have a little bit of a reduced field tonight just due to real life temperatures and possibly hangovers from Belgium saving the World Cup against America, or England's valiant display versus Mexico. But if you were on the track tonight, what would you be expecting to see?
Well, there's going to be a lot of battle. I know Canadian Tire, well, Mosport is going to be easier to say it like that, is pretty keen on battles. You've got battle where we are right now with Tony Walker. I don't remember the corner names. I'm bad at that on every track apart from Spa and some of the Nürburgring Nordschleifers. But I think it's a great track for battles. We're going to see loads of that. It's going to be tricky to pass, I think. I don't think this one is easy. I don't know in the TCRs quite well. But I know in V8s, you've got the straight and you've got the straight, and maybe you dive on the braking, and that's about it. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And, well, it's only 34-degree track temp, so it's hot, but it's not, like, burning hot.
Yeah, I just had a quick look at that myself, and inside the sim right now, it's 3:15 in the afternoon, so the temperatures I don't really actually see changing too much depending on what the cloud cover is, but you're absolutely right. It's a track that's going to provide us with, as well as many more drifts like that one as well, plenty of battles, and you're right as well with the fact that there's not really many places to pass on this circuit. In fact, we're approaching probably, or we were with the last camera, was approaching the S's, which is turns 8, 9, and 10. Probably the only places that you're going to see some really clear ways to get an overtake done. So expect many people to take advantage of pit stops, maybe people's dodgy lines through corners. Just got to hope that everyone keeps nice and disciplined, because getting too wide here or being involved in a crash or having to suddenly slam on those brakes, and you're losing a lot of time indeed. But shall we get to the points so far for all of our championships? Those who are new to Backfire Simsport TV, we hold many different championships here, pro-ams, as well as your AMs and teams, the extremely prestigious Sir Alan Safe Driver Award, and then Driver of the Meeting as well. But we will start off with the pros, and at the moment it is approaching where we start looking at the drop score, but we're not quite halfway through the season. So for now, ignore the column on the very right hand side. We're going to go with total points, and I haven't seen it this close between the top couple of drivers for a long time, Sam. 807 points. Stephen Walker is at the summit of the championship with Andrea Stefanina only 10 points behind, and Isaac Price, the lone Veloster, over in third. Stephen, Andrea, and Isaac so far all keeping up with each other. Stephen, he's done an absolutely fantastic job since transitioning over from the Veloster to his Audi, but it doesn't look unstoppable. Top three, quite close. Do we think with maybe the Audis being a bit stronger tonight, people like Isaac are going to really struggle to keep up with the main drivers?
You're asking a question to someone that absolutely doesn't know anything about the TCRs apart from watching this league and for even like 3 years ago maybe. But the standings are really interesting. Steven is leading the way, but not by far. So still really open, as you said. We're not halfway through the season yet, but the battle is still raging, which is great for the spectacle that is motor racing. Now for tonight, I'm gonna still keep an eye on Isaac Price because he's been doing great despite having apparently
Absolutely.
the worst car in the field. We've got a guy that's coming back also, and that's probably get into the mix as the will be crushing kneecaps. So we'll see if someone can take him out so he doesn't come into play. That would be great.
I think I
So
just heard Pete booing somewhere as soon as you said wobbly and kneecaps there. Hopefully they're not linked with each other as the name of the individual coming back. Yeah, you hear that?
yeah, can hear
I
it.
can hear him. Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear Pete. He's screaming. He's absolutely livid. But yes, you're absolutely right about Isaac Price. So he's done
Not sure we're
absolutely.
allowed to
Oh
say
no.
these things, but we're gonna go with it anyway.
There you go.
I
Beats me that.
actually thought he was here. I was like, oh no, we've been caught. Yes, the Backfire Simsport TV Discord, if you join it, does have many different sound clips in there. A couple of Pete, some of Sam, some of me. It's family-friendly fun in there. My heart dropped for a second there. I thought, do you know what? That seemed like Pete was stood right behind me there, and
Yeah, it would have been
that's
fun.
not something I want to imagine. In all honesty, but yes, go back to Isaac Price. He's done absolutely fantastic in that Veloster. He's currently actually in the top 5 of the drivers who are in the practice right now. So you could be absolutely right, and this championship could be getting even closer. But if we go over to the pro-ams, it's we seem to have Evan Kiso starting to build a bit of a gap between himself and Kyle Hardy. Kyle Hardy's always been very consistent. He's always been in the top 5, top 3 in very recent seasons as well. He just can't seem to get a break right now and get that top spot. There's always somebody coming in and fighting him really hard to it. And Evan Kiso at the moment, 149 points in front. Behind Kyle Hardy, you've got Chris Needham, who's having a really good consistent season, as well as Tom Woodcock as well, and Thomas Dandridge as well in 5th place, waiting for those above him to slip up and potentially give him a run to the top 3. But Evan Kiso so far hitting the ground running, putting in some really consistent performances. It definitely seems like that, doesn't it?
From what I've seen, because I did watch most of the races from the start of the season to now, he looked really good. I'm not gonna say he's a pro, but he's really close to it. I think he's probably between both of the classes on some tracks, which makes him a bit ahead of everybody in the category. And as you said, Paul Hardy, there's always someone that's spoiling the party for him. So it's going to be entertaining to see where it goes, because if you kind of look with the points with the drop scores, there's only 23 points between them. So that's going to be for later in the season, but it's still pretty close if you look at the right column.
Yeah, absolutely. When those drop scores come in, it could potentially really shake up this table. But let's hope it's not going to be a season for Kyle Hardy where always a bridesmaid. It was the saying, always a bridesmaid, but never the bride. I don't know how Kyle Hardy would look in a bride's dress, but I'll leave that to you lot's imagination as we switch over to the championship. And I can hear a few people shuddering right now. I apologise for that one.
Yeah, I don't want to have that in my head. That's bad.
Well, tough. You'll now dream about it as well. Also dreaming of anything at all is Christian Hendricks, who finds himself at the top of the AM standings. This is the closest championship yet, and always is when it comes to our Backfire Simsport TV sessions, our seasons even. Christian Hendricks, 272 points. Chris London, 260, 12 points behind the leader. 14 points behind the leader. Silas Gobel Chesney is 28 points behind the leader. 34 for Mika Santa Helena. Josh Taylor 47 and Thomas Coombe 48. That's the top 7, are all within 50 points of each other, and with a slightly smaller grid at the moment. I'm looking. We've got about 34 drivers who have put in a time at the moment. A real opportunity for one of the AMs to get into that top 15 for the reverse grid. I feel races like this, Sam, are the races which could shape a championship as close as the AMs.
Oh, definitely. I'm looking at the standings right now, and Silas is 15. Is in 15th position. It's based on time, obviously. It's practice, but it's a good sign for him in race 1 to get the 15th place or better, and get a lot of points and start at the front for race number 2.
Yes, absolutely. This championship will change hands several times over this season. So honestly, it's my favorite championship in the whole of Backfire Simsport, as well as the pro-ams. You can get some really good battles there. Let's have a quick look and see how the teams are doing, because to my knowledge, the teams are it's not a one-horse race for the teams. Result X Pure Sims of Carl Hardy, Michael Hall, and Pete Newman leading the way with 1,445 points. 111 points behind is Stephen Walker, Tony Walker, and now Wobbly as well of BSTV Esports. With that extra firepower of Wobbly coming in, could be the boost that BSTV Esports needs to catch up to Result X Pure Sims. And of course, SRG as well are always going to be up there, especially with the talented drivers that they've got on hands. Alex Rogers, David Johansson, Evan Kiso. Though we haven't seen much of David Johansson, if at all, yet this season. I'm just looking to see if they're in this session. I can't seem to see anything just yet, but do have Alex Rogers and Evan Kiso in, and then a JC Academy team in 4th place. But BSTV Esports with Wobbly jumping in definitely improves their chances of catching up to Result X Pure Sims. What do you think would be going through the heads of the leading team right now, knowing that their closest rivals have got some extra firepower?
Not him again. Probably something like that.
I think that's what 99% of us have been thinking anyway. But yes, no, I completely get it. Completely get it. 111 points, could be even closer by the end of this evening. Let's go over to the most prestigious league in all of esports. This transcends just iRacing. This is the whole of esports. It's the Sir Alan Safe Driver Award. It's a see this as a mural to how safe our drivers are, plus how quick they are in the championships. I've been running the strength of field races now for a couple of seasons on Tuesdays, and I keep looking at splits 2, split 3s, and I'm seeing people in this league consistently doing well in those splits, sometimes in the top split as well, and getting podiums. This league, probably with a lot of leagues as well, and you might agree with me on like also with the V8s as well, Sam, where getting into leagues like this where everyone has the respect for each other, is willing to learn, can take constructive feedback, it really helps them not just become safe but also become faster drivers at the same time.
100%. That is, I did do back in the day, so we were talking 5 years ago, some official V8s, because the league was actually putting in official races forwards, like they're still doing now for the V8s, and like you guys do for TCRs, and it was the best official racing I've ever had, with the people from the league and some external people, but the standards of racing are so much better than the usual officials you can get. It shows what the league provides even through the officials, and that's awesome.
Absolutely. I think you've just described it all absolutely perfectly, and thank you for sharing your experience with the V8s as well. Speaking of V8s, to everybody watching in the chat right now, Backfire Simsport TV does an absolutely fantastic V8 league on Saturdays. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that, Sam, before we go on to the final table?
Well, V8, also known as V8 ESC, because it's been called like that before BSTV. That's what brought all the BSTV team together at the start. It's on season 19. Jeez, I'm getting old. And there's like the grid are smaller than the TCR because the car is less popular. I'm putting a link in the chat if you want to check out the website and get signed up. We do run shorter seasons, to accommodate with it being harder to drive and maybe needing more time to get used to the car. So we're splitting. We're doing the races on a fortnight basis, so every 2 weeks. And it's they're about the same format as the TCRs. Fuel restricted to enforce pit stops in the feature races. There's 3 sprints races. There's endurance races. It's held on Saturday at 8 p.m. and the league is about as friendly as the TCR is, and lots of people are and will be happy to help new drivers to get into it. And their strength of field races are held on Thursday and Friday, depending on the weeks. Everything is told about in the V8SC channel on Discord. So if you're interested in V8, get on it, because it's for me the best car on any sims. And it's so rewarding, it's so good. And the racing is awesome.
Yeah, rewarding's probably the best.
Yeah.
In my experience, the best word to describe the V8s, having driven them very briefly in the Pit Stop Cup. It's such a hard car to get into and drive to be quick. But when you do start nailing a couple of those corners, when you start really getting into the groove of it, you just appreciate it, and the skills that all the drivers who are in the league have produced to make that thing go as fast as it does. Thank you so much for that, Sam. Let's go on to the last of the tables, which is the driver of the meeting. Today, Sam, you will be playing the part of Pete Bingham. In that, at the end of tonight, you'll be able to. Oh no, it's a prestigious part to play. To be fair, you get to pick your driver of the meeting, and they all get loaded up into this table. Whoever has the most points is your driver of the season. Yeah. Pretty much. At the moment, Christian Hendricks, Evan Kiso, Andreas Stefanina, Silas Scobell, Jamie Wilson, and Stephen Walker are the recipients of a vote so far. Usually, I'm not going to be too biased, but I try and make sure as many people have a vote as possible, because then that just makes it a bit more interesting towards the end, to see when someone finally manages to split away from everybody else. But honestly, at the end of the night, you can choose whoever you like, Sam.
that I will.
Yeah.
Times are coming in the qualifying sessions. There's the first flying laps coming in.
Yep, and already Stephen Walker, championship leader, at the top of a 122.9, which is already, if you compare it to the officials, bloody quick. I expect to get some closer to the 121s. I don't think we'll hit the 121, depending on how much slipstream has been taken, but expect the fast guys to go even quicker than that at some point tonight. Right. Shall we go to... I'm having a look at the standings at the moment. I think we're going to go to position number 5. We'll go to a Gobel for our quick track guide for this week. Self-plug here on my own channel on youtube.com/jaycalls, spelled JAYCAULLS. You'll find plenty of track guides, but just for you tonight, and every single Wednesday, we'll do a quick one here for you now, as Mr. Gobel goes around the last corner, and we start our lap of Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as we go down the main straight to the deceptive turn number 1. You can mount that curb if you wish, but be patient on the exit, because it's so easy to flush out wide, which will be a common theme on this circuit. Next up, Clayton Corner. A lot of elevation could cause your rear end to slip out a fair bit, but get onto the throttle confidently, then to the left hand side for Quebec Corner. This one just requires a little bit of a breather, a bit of slow down, but when you accelerate out, use as much of that track on the exit. Maximize your front wheel drive with less steering. Then onto the danger zones. Keep nice and tight to turn number 4 and keep to the left hand side for Moss Corner. You want to diamond this one, going out as wide as you can and sweeping across for the second half. Expect during the race broadcast to see many people misjudge that in the middle and go out onto the dirt. Now down the Mario Andretti straightaway, where it is a near enough invisible turn number 6 right now. And then in about 3 more seconds, it's turn number 7. But this is going to be our main source for overtaking through the majority of the race. If you're not, though, get yourself nicely tucked in for the S's. You want to diamond the first part, hitting that second amount of curbs. Then it's setting up the following corner. You don't want to be going full welly on the exits, trying to get over to the opposite side of where the next corner is coming from to open it up. If you can get through there nice and smoothly, you go across the line, and that is your beginner's guide to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Awesome. You're really doing a good job with these track guides, honestly.
It's this time it was without a script, and to be honest, it kind of works a little bit better than with that sometimes. But Stephen Walker setting a 1:22.825, and at the moment, someone who's been doing very well in the officials, he's having an absolutely fantastic time out in those. He actually, Jack Brown yesterday, Sam, won his, to my knowledge, his first top split strength of field race on the fix yesterday. He absolutely smashed it. Everybody behind was getting all their battling done, and Jack just got his head down and drove to victory. So that's given him a big load of points in the Strength of Field Championship Fixed Edition. He also finds himself as the top Pro-Am at the moment, 2 places above Evan Kiso, 1 in front of Jaden Scotland, who we know exactly how quick he can get on even a bad day, to be honest. Going around in the JC Academy, not a cult, I swear, Emerald vehicle, and Emerald at the moment, every time I say not a cult, it just makes me nervous. I forget my words. It's
yeah, well,
call that
you know,
guilt.
whilst plugging you in, I went to your Twitch channel to get the link, and I was met by some guy apparently praying for me to join the cult, which I'm not. But yeah, you're saying not a cult, but I mean, yeah, doesn't play in your favor, that one.
So if anyone goes to my Twitch channel, one of my good friends, she brought me a video from Fiverr of Jesus Christ giving me a shout out. It's you've got to see it to believe it. It automatically plays as a channel trader. I didn't pay for it, but it's one of the best gifts I have ever received while streaming on Twitch. So if you're watching at all, Gemma, thank you, Gemma. It was a couple of years ago, but it still makes people laugh to this day. I swear we're not a cult. I love the fact he calls me Jesus Calls. That wasn't even in the script. But well, as we were talking about Gobel earlier in the AMS getting into the top 15 in the practice, they've done it again. They're currently running 13th place in this qualifying lap. They're only getting quicker. And Silas says, you won't believe it looking at the AM Championships that we did a couple of minutes ago, but Silas Gobel, he has been on absolute fire this season. Yeah. Consistently putting in quick laps, quick qualifying performances. It just seems to get unraveled during the race, whether it's a misjudging in battle or just freak accidents. Everything seems to be. It's kind of like, I mean, don't want to get too much with current world events at the moment, but you can kind of call Silas Gobel the Argentina World Cup of the BSTV world, where just something needs to happen. Some sort of rigging needs to, I'm kidding, I'm joking. Everyone here from South America, don't hate me, I'm joking. But the bad luck for Silas Gobel, some sort of luck needs to go in. Some sort of upper deity needs to be casting some good luck over Silas, because he's definitely up there in the top 3 quickest AMs. It just seems to be unraveling in the races at the moment. It's just a case of bad luck after bad luck. The closest competitor at the moment to Silas when it comes to the AMs, running in 20th place at the moment in the JC Sapphire car, is Chris London. Somebody who actually, to be honest, is qualifying pretty decently at the moment, but it's keeping their head down and keeping out of trouble in the races, which it happened with Fraser last season, much to Pete's air, but keeping it nice and clean bags you points, doesn't it, Sam?
Definitely. It's better to finish than getting incidents and be parked on the side or losing positions. Even if you start a bit lower in the grid, you'll get a better place at the end and you get more points. and you don't get the points, the minus points for the incidents as well. So it's
Absolutely.
win-win.
Yep, those who don't know, when you get incidents in BSTV races, they do get deducted from the points that you end up winning at the end of the evening. So sometimes it does pay to be clean. It does pay thinking twice about what battles you're going to jump into. Sometimes it can sway the path of a championship, but at the moment he is absolutely smashing it through this session at the moment. Doesn't look like this is going to be a quicker lap. We are approaching 12.5 minutes into qualifying, and Stephen Walker is leading the way with a 1:22.83. Jack Brown, he is right on his shoulder in the timing tower right now with a 1:22.87. It's getting close, and I'm having a quick look. I don't suppose, Sam, you can put up the gap times at all rather than the interval, so I can just have a quick look. So I have a sneaking suspicion that we have a lot of drivers who are within 1 second of the leader at the moment, just to really showcase how close some of these times are. Perfect, look at that. And indeed, up to 24th place right now is wow. Up to 24th place is within a second of the leader. And when we have a track like this where you're not really afforded many opportunities to pass through speed alone, this could end up being a really close together pack race. What do you think, Sam? Are we going to... Do you think the drivers are going to behave? Do you think we're going to get people being nice and patient, or with how close everybody is, are we going to start seeing some elbows out and potentially fracturing the field into tiny little communities?
Well, it's definitely going to be elbows out. I don't remember having a safety car on this track, but I think we had one in V8. I can be corrected, but I do think we had one in V8. The track is not wide, and it even narrows in turn one, and you know, they like spread and go all for the same corner, the same line of this in turn one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we're with what you described there, with like corners like turn one, understeer, especially in these front wheel drive machines, is definitely going to cause a few people to be right on the edge of the outside of these corners. As long as in the early laps, those who are taking the inside line can lift a little bit, and of course those on the outside will need to lift a little bit as well to get that weight distribution over to the front tires. It could potentially see a lot of people running onto the grass here quite early. Hopefully in the early laps, so a few of these drivers are listening to me right now, and just remember to just back up slightly if they see a yellow flag, anyone's back end step out, or just a bit more traffic than usual. But that is the end of qualifying. Stephen Walker went even quicker, by the way, and he starts on the front row with Jack Brown. He's done an absolutely fantastic job here, sharing the front row whilst being in pro-ams. Jaden Scotton and Evan Kiso, another pro-am just there, onto row number 2. Andrea Stefanina and Logan McKinsey will have row 3 with Isaac Price and Carl Hardy on row number 4. I thought I was going way too slow there.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Ticker. It's fine, it's fine. Thomas Dandridge will take 9th place with wobbly kneecaps in 10th. We've got Alex Rogers in 11th for SRG with Stefan Gobel. Fantastic qualifying for them as well in 12th. Yura Larkin will take 13th with Gobel's teammates Silas Gobel, the first of the first of the AM cars, in 14th, and Tom Woodcock 15th, and Dietmar, who's in 16th. Thomas Asboff and Tony Walker will occupy 17th and 18th, with Silas Gobel's nearest competitor Chris London in 19th. Jamie Ayres rounds out the rest of that top 20. Nico Meyer and Odd Payne in 21st and 22nd, and PVG and Jamie Wilson 23rd and 24th. 25th will be Jeff Saunders in the JC Academy Emerald, with Christian Hendricks, the leader of the AM Championship at the moment, and Switch It in 26th. Then we have Pascal Rizine and his teammate Laura Miser. She will be in 28th, with Pascal in 27th. Chesney van der Broek in 29th, and Josh Trasler in 30th. And Thomas Koom and Hilton Nicholson in 31st and 32nd. 33rd and 34th will consist of Josh Taylor and Anton Weiler. Andy Little in 35th, Michael Hall in 36th. And do we have any more cars after
that's
that?
it.
We don't. Oh, wow. Only 36 cars, Sam. Those in AMS right now who are either already in the top 15 or hovering around the early 20s must fancy their chances to get a really good race finish here and set themselves up for high points in the future.
Yeah, and I'm laughing because Pete's not there and nobody's flashing. That's great, people. I love it.
You know what? That's fine. Yeah, nobody flashing at all, which is absolutely brilliant. Lights come on. No one clip this. So the lights are coming on at the moment. We're 5 and we're out. Sam, to the blimp. And
Let's go to the
lights,
blimp.
Lights out and away we go. A nice steady start for everybody. There's a couple of positions flashing about, but it's mainly just people swapping an odd number for an even number. Going into turn number 2, it's currently Stephen Walker in the lead with Jack Brown, Jane Scott and Evan Kiso keeping their positions. Andrea Stefanina in 5th place as well. In fact, up to the top 8th, top 9 with Thomas Dandridge in 9th, all keeping their positions for now. There's a lot of smoke going on and it's one of the VTS cars going off the circuit there. And that's once again with another spate of bad luck. That's one of the Gobels going off. But onto possibly what could cause major heavy braking. A lot of top in the tail, and that's a Resolve Pure Sims car and a JC Academy. There's a lot of backing up there. The cars are still going. Tate to the grass, folks. A 1X here is better than getting caught up and picking up a 4, and that's just going to bunch everybody out. Jeff Saunders with a meatball flag. Also, Yura Larkinen as well. Weiler with a slowdown. We go back to the middle of the pack just there as we approach the S's, and it was going so well for everybody up to the Diamond in hairpin just there. We got Yura jumping into the pits on radio there. I don't think any of you lot will be able to hear that one, but that's the end of lap number 1. Yura making his promises into reality there, jumping into the pits. Stephen Walker leading the way, 4 tenths in front of Jack Brown at the moment. Great start from Jack Brown and Evan Kiso in 4th place, and everybody just making their way through Clayton Corner, keeping their car nice and steady. There's some really close tight battles going on at the moment as Josh Trasler overtakes Michael Hall. Something up with Michael Hall's car perhaps, or just trying to keep out of trouble. Oh, and that's a spin just there for Hilton. Couple of inputs just there causing the car to spin out, going back up towards the top of the grid at the moment. Centering in on 2nd place in the Pro-Ams, Evan Kiso. Evan and Jack, both Sam, I think at the moment, doing absolutely fantastically to keep the positions they're holding, especially with such quick drivers still around them.
Definitely doing a good job. And I think even with the incident at Moss in lap 1, everybody got lucky. I think it could have been way worse than it was. I think it was Jamie Ayres that went off track, and honestly, all this brake, and that makes all the difference. Yeah, it was good. Well, not good for the drivers involved, but it was a good recovery considering the incident.
I think it could. You're right. I think it could have been a lot worse there. I think there was still a lot of drivers not expecting that much braking, but considering a few of them did dive off into the grass to avoid any 4X or major damage to the cars, I think that saved a couple more and are coming together just there with London and Gobel. I think that's unfortunately a victim there of the crest going into Clayton Corner. You can't always see where the apex is going to be or exactly when the outside of the corner is going to come and swallow you up. It does sometimes just completely come out of nowhere, and unfortunately that's 2 different lines into a corner where you have to somehow be a mind reader, and unfortunately they both got it wrong there, whereas if it was any other lap it would have been some really good close racing. Luckily though, no meatballs for either, as we're currently watching Wobbly making their return to BSTV this week, fighting with Thomas Dandridge. This is for 9th place at the moment with Rogers. He's just waiting behind, waiting for a chance to to overtake these two in front, both keeping it nice and respectful through the corners, and Wobbly gets the move done, and Alex Rogers, he sees a gap and he takes it. He's going to have the inside of the next corner with potentially Tom Woodhouse, making this 3 corners for Thomas Dandridge and 3 positions potentially lost. He's going to fight it going into Clayton. Another example of going too wide, and Thomas, he's going to try and get a bit of a stronger exit here and potentially have space to make a move on the inside. We attempted it, but Thomas Dandridge defending in the middle of the track there, giving Thomas nowhere to go. That puts Thomas Dandridge down 2 places, and Alex Rogers, Wobbly Kneecaps, both with good decisions there, both up 1 place each.
Wobbly with good decisions, that's something you never heard.
To be fair to Wobbly, himself and Thomas gave each other plenty of room there.
Yeah.
The S's on Canadian Tire, I find a really good solid place of the track. If you, oh wow, oh, and that is a switch it car.
Yeah, that's Pascal.
Yep, that's Pascal completely off there. Be interesting to see what happened there, because they were carrying so much less speed than everybody else coming out of that corner. Do wonder if they clipped that inside. Oh no. Oh, they just... Yeah,
something's
that
off.
was really strange there. Nearly collecting Laura. She nearly had the shock of her life there, with Pascal nearly connecting and ricocheting into her car. But yeah, I wonder what happened with Pascal there. That did not look like it was something like damage to a car or anything like that causing less speed. I could be wrong. That might even be a hardware issue. We'll have to wait for a second opinion or straight from Pascal themselves on that one. Jen Chiller in the chat, welcome in. And yes, go Dietmar, Cutting Corny fans are in the chat in their droves, cheering on their superstar here. Dietmar having a pretty decent race so far, up 3 positions. He's him as well as everybody else around him, Sam, having good decent start, picking up positions where others are making mistakes. You lot can see on the time tower now the positions gained and lost, and that is a lot of positions going to be lost there for Chesney. Wonder what happened there. You can see Chesney's point of view on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/racewave, and going round, and yeah,
that curb.
No, yeah, it's a dangerous corner where if you don't lift enough, you can't stick to it. You do end up going outwards, and I didn't see who they connected with. It was one of the switch it cars, so that was either, I'm thinking that may have been Laura there, or it may have been Maya, sorry. It's yeah, it's an unfortunate ricochet, and the walls are Canadian Tire, although you've got plenty of grass in between the track and the walls. The walls are still hard, folks. They will do everything they can to give you an IKEA special. Right now, OD Payne right now up 2 places, 20th. We currently have no AMs in the top 15 as things stand. 15th place currently occupied by Tony Walker, who has a gaggle of TCR in front.
Yeah, there's quite a gap between him and Silas.
Yes, 2.5 seconds at the moment. The only way I can see Silas catching up is just with a few solid laps, or if everybody that's in front of him right now starts fighting it out. And at the moment, it's Rogers fighting along with Wobbly. If these two keep by the side and Alex backing out just in time, that camera angle really gets me thinking that people are going to start spinning each other out. Oh, and
there you
speak
go.
of! And Alex Rogers and Wobbly connect yourself. I have seen Wobbly several times on that final corner swing outwards to open it out, and I just wonder if there wasn't the gap that he thought there was. Let's have another look from the chopper, and Alex, oh no, Alex just went in with far too much speed, possibly looking at making a dive on the inside there. Wobbly, meanwhile, very likely off the throttle to help the car turn into the left-hand side to open up that final corner. And is this another potential incident happening here? It's Thomas Coombe going into Clayton. going off a little bit wide. I'm wondering if that's just a missed braking point. At this point, just put your foot on the throttle, modulate it, and get yourself back on like Thomas recovered to there.
I just clicked the wrong Thomas, that's what happened.
Fair enough. So this is Dandridge, who was involved with a flying pair of kneecaps across the front, and that pushes him into the pits. I'm hoping Thomas went through the pits here. That most certainly would have been a meatball, but I mean, let's be honest, that's probably the best place to get a meatball is as you're already getting pushed into the pits. But wobbly, and the resulting ricochet and damage happening to cars around him has thrown Silas Gobel up to 13th place and into the top 15, as well as Jamie Wilson up 10 positions in 14th.
Yeah, really interesting.
Wow.
And as you said, a nice place to get your meatball. It's like when you're in real life and you have a flat tire or a puncture or something, and you get it just before the pit lane, and it's perfect. It's way better than having it in turn 1, just after the pit lane.
I was about to say 100 meters later, and maybe Thomas Dandridge would have been saying some stuff that's definitely not going to be suitable to repeat on broadcast. Whereas what I'm pretty sure Wobbly is doing right now, cursing like a sailor.
Yeah, as he always does.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, I don't know. Good Christian boy, wobbly kneecaps. He would never. In fact, no. I can actually imagine his voice right now saying "FUJ." Yeah, you're absolutely right. Up 16 positions at the moment, though, in 20th place, having a great race starting from near enough the back. In fact, no, he was starting from the back. Michael Hall. In 20th at the moment. We are 11 minutes into this 20-minute race, and I feel it's got a little bit of a climb here to get to one of the Gobels, who's currently occupying that 15th place, but I don't think it's completely impossible for Michael Hall to make a miraculous recovery here. And could we, if he does end up getting the 15th place and a feature race coming up, potentially see a successful last to first challenge?
That would be impressive, considering the size of the field. Although today is a small field, there's still 36 people racing, and getting from 36 to 15, it's a lot.
Yes, absolutely is, especially in this track as well, where it is a little bit difficult to pass. Chesney in the chat right now, the track is tight. Very unlucky with your incident early in the race, Chesney. Hopefully we will see you in race number 2 and we can see how many positions you can gain there. But yeah, that left-hander is so difficult to keep glued to. If you go into it with a little bit too much throttle, a little bit too much speed, it will throw you out. And unfortunately, you had somebody on right next to you there. But yeah, it's still a feature race to go, and anything can happen in 40 minutes. At the moment, we're watching this tough fight for second place. Jack Brown, he's having a fantastic race at the moment. There's no changes in position in the top 8, which means the Pro-Ams of Carl Hardy in 8th, Evan Kiso in 4th, and Jack Brown all in the places they started. Jack Brown there being in 2nd. And I tell you what, as well, Sam, Stephen Walker is not exactly flying away either. One mistake from Stephen Walker, and this race could get turned on its head. What do you think?
Anything can happen. He's not flying as he was flying on one of the previous races. I don't remember which one it was when he went, just went for both races, apparently. No, it's still only 1.5 in front, like just missing last corner once, getting a bit wide, and it's done. The gap is gone, so it's still really open for Jack, Jade, and Even. And probably even Andrea Stefanina behind to get a shot at the win if something happens to Stephen Walker.
Yes, and I've been seeing in the officials all this week, the main place that people are making mistakes at the moment is that very slow, that very intricate double right-hander, turn number 5. It really, if you misjudge it when opening up the second half of that corner, you lose so much time in that dirt. And fair play to everybody in the top 8 at the moment, because everybody behind the top 8 is gaining so many positions. And that was a very very wide line from Jack Brown just there, but because they got the late apex in, they could get on the throttle a bit earlier there. Jaden's keeping it nice and tight into the corners, keeping it nice and neat, and Jack's just using a case of, I don't know exactly what to call it, but Jack is making the most of the lines they're taking into the corners to maximize their exits. And that's going to frustrate Jaden because he'll go into the corners, catching up Jack, and then on the exits and the following straights, Jack's going to just find a way to just somehow get away from Jaden. And Jaden won't know how to combat that, I think, especially with it being Honda versus Audi as well.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Is the new Audi still faster than everybody else in the straight line? Is that still a thing?
It is very slight, but especially in a slipstream right now, it's a bit worrying for behind Jaden, because look what car's behind Jaden. And that car getting slipstream. It's a good job Jaden actually has somebody in front of him to get the slipstream from, because if he didn't, then Kiso would be making so many moves over the course of this race. And actually, looking at that final bit of the S's, Evan had a fantastic end of the S's just there, actually a 10th quicker than Jaden on that last lap. So now Jaden, after chasing Jack Brown for so many laps, he now has the threat of another Pro-Am car, Evan Kiso, now catching up, and Andrea Stefanino in 5th place, sorry. He's in the Honda, and he's not catching up with the front four. Definitely seems like this is more of an Audi track, and that's got to worry a lot of these competitors who are not in the German machines, especially for the feature race that's going to be coming up. Maybe expect to see a few cars jumping into the pits for some undercuts if they feel that the packs are getting too intense. A bit like packs like this. If we were the car that's right at the back there, and that's actually a meatball flag for Chris London right now, and a black flag for Christian Hendricks. So that is 2 of the top runners in the AMS right now, as Chris London getting really tight there, and Laura,
being roughed up.
Laura just slapping Chris about at the moment and leaving him for dead on that one. Laura, she makes a fantastic move there, gets through. That's Chris London and Christian Hendricks, top 2 in AMS at the moment, now with problems in race number 1, which is going to severely affect their standings in race number 2, because you only have 3 minutes left now, and some tight battling on the S's here. Brilliant fighting from Mayer, Payne and Hall. Oh, a bit of touching just there. Don't know if Chris London realises they've got as much damage as they do. They should probably look at taking that, as well as Christian Hendricks there with the black flag.
Yeah, black flag is like a penalty, so probably like a drive-through.
Yes, and you don't want to be taking that on the final lap, or else it adds. You can't take it on the final lap. Oh, and that's Michael Hall taking a look on the inside. He gets the job done. Now Michael Hall has 4 seconds to try and catch up to Stefan Gobel, which I think is going to be a bit too much of an ask, but all it takes is a mistake, right?
Yes. like the same thing for Stephen Walker. Just need a mistake from him or for anybody else to give all of the other drivers a chance to get some places. But I'm amazed with all the battles still going on, and it's always like that in every races. We still have the battle for P2 between Jack, which getting away slightly from Jaden, and Jaden under pressure from Even.
It is Jack having an absolutely fantastic race right now. And you're absolutely right. He is getting away from Jaden. I wonder if Jaden's just taking his eyes off second place in front, and he's just trying to place the car to make it a bit harder for Kiso to get his foot into the door. You also got, from Kiso's point of view, if he's looking behind him in the mirror right now, he just sees the frightening Honda Civic right now of Andrea Stefanino behind. I'm looking, and I don't think, I wonder if Hendricks and London realise that they have the damage and the penalties on their cars, because they can't take the penalties now because
Well, they can.
well,
It's their last shout, I think.
I
Because
thought it was
we're
the
gonna
lap
get
before
to the.
because the leader's going to be having the white flag raised.
Yes. Yes.
And that white flag is quite early in the pits. I think it's too late. I think Chris will be okay with his meatball, but I'm pretty sure Hendricks might get a bigger penalty here if they don't
Yeah.
go to the pits. Unless Chris London's has happened in the last 2 laps. I think you can get 3 laps before they send you in for a penalty, but they've really cutting this quite fine. I'm just having a quick look on the map at the moment. As Jure Larkinen trying to outside overtake on Andy Littler. This isn't a car getting lapped here. This is for position. And just having a quick look, and they're both jumping in. Be interesting to see if Hendricks can actually clear that penalty. I think it's too late, personally. It should have been done a lap before, but I could be wrong.
I think it's all right.
Anyway.
I think it's all right because they're not crossing the line with the checkered line. They're crossing it with.
That's a black flag for London.
Oh, yeah, no way.
And it's a black flag for Hendricks as well. Oh, no, Hendricks has cleared it. Yes, Hendricks did it just in time, entered the pits before, and I don't know what's happened there with London, if that must be either speeding in the pit lane or taking too long to repair the meatball. Did they wasn't really concentrating on if their pit box was after the finish line. I think that might have had something to do with it as well. If their pit box is after the pit finish line, then that may have registered as an extra lap. But going over the line, the winner of race 1, we'll deal with that bit afterwards. Stephen Walker gets the win, and Jack Brown with a fantastic result in 2nd place. And Evan Kiso just makes the drag race finish 4th place over Andrea Stefanino. Fantastic result for him. Logan McKenzie was 6th place and Isaac Price in 7th. We're waiting to see if Gobel can finish in 13th. And they can, winning the AMS. Another drag race to the finish there as the other Gobel gets the top 15. So both Gobels finishing in the top 3 and will be on rows 1 and 2 as we watch everybody else jump through. A massive 20 places gained by Michael Hall. He will start just behind the reverse grid in 16th for race number 2.
Opposite rating is that 1 place short.
1 place, yeah. And then the people who are going to be directly in front of you are just as fast, if not faster than you. But that could work to his advantage just there.
It might. He'll be able to follow through, although it would have been a nice kickstart for race 2 to start at the front.
Yes, absolutely. And whilst we wait for the final results to come up just as the warm-up comes up, anybody who's watching the YouTube chat right now, whether you're watching this on VOD or watching this live, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and put a thumbs up on the stream as well. The more thumbs ups, the more that the algorithm pushes it out to other people as incredible and amazing as yourselves to come and watch us race. And maybe even more people to join the leagues as well. But Stephen Walker wins Heat 1 with Jack Brown in 2nd place, winning the Pro-Ams for Heat 1. Jaden Scotton rounds out the rest of the first race podium with Evan Kiso and Andrea Stefanino's drag race, a highlight to the end of that race, both getting 4th and 5th respectively. Logan McKenzie in 5th place with Isaac Price just behind in 7th. Carl Hardy getting the final podium place for Pro-Ams in 8th place. Then a bit of a gap between the top 8, all fighting amongst themselves, with those who decided to use their time wisely and gain a few positions getting into the top 15. That includes Tom Woodcock, Dietmar, who's Thomas Asboff, all in Pro-Ams, finishing 9th, 10th and 11th. Tony Walker with a good positive race there in 12th. Silas Gobel gets the win for the AM class, finishing 13th and getting within that reverse grid for the top 15 on the feature race. Also getting those final 2 spots and will be starting on row number 1, Jamie Wilson and Stefan Gobel. Michael Hall with a brilliant plus 20 on positions gained, but just misses out on feature race pole, getting 16th. Nico Mayer with 17th and Odd Payne in 18th, getting runners up for the AMS. Laura Miser, she has a fantastic race and gets a podium for the AMS in 19th. Jamie Ayres, after an earlier mistake early in the race with turn number 5, manages to pick themselves back up and get back into the top 20. Josh Trasler just behind in 21st with Thomas Kuhn in 22nd. Jura Laakinen, after having to take an early meatball flag, climbs back up to 23rd with Thomas Dandridge 24th. Completing the rest of that top 25 is Andy Littler. Brilliant race from Andy. Done a fantastic job there. Josh Taylor, 26th, with Christian Hendricks 27th. Hilton Nicholson in 28th. And the rest of the grid, Jeff Saunders after an early meatball flag climbing back up to 29th, and Chris London after their penalty dropping down to 30th. Then the retirements of the race, wobbly kneecaps in 31st with Alex Rogers. Oh, Alex went out early as well. Chesney van den Broeke in 33rd, Pascal 34th. We've got PVG 35th, and then Anton Weiler finishes at the back in 36th. That was clean race in places. People were a lot cleaner in sections of the track. I expected a lot of chaos, and it was just a lot of people, possibly, Sam, I don't know if you're agreeing with this one, a lot of people just battling side by side, but maybe in some cases just a bit of understeer and cars having little minds of their own. Maybe not ability of drivers, but maybe the cars in the hotter track maybe causing the majority of these incidents with each other.
Yeah, we've seen chats pretty tight, and I think that just tells it all. It's easy to get the curb and go wide. I think that's what happened also with David Ayres. Probably it was coming from the same corner. I think getting on the inside of the hairpin and then almost getting in the way of everybody else in front. It's Mosport. I mean, all in all, with 36 people racing, I think the racing has been clean and everything has been fair. Maybe one or two incidents that might be looked at somehow, but overall, I think it was clean.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse, especially with not very many places to overtake. And when you do get by the side of somebody, you're going to end up pretty much being attached to them for the following corners. But we've got a few already out on track. Coming up next is a 40-minute feature race. Very unlikely to get through this one with no stops at all. The likes of Wobbly and others are probably going to be just testing out how far they can get off tracks for before they register as off tracks. But as well as that, also it's a bit of a tricky pit entry on this circuit. If you find yourself battling with somebody and you're on the wrong side of the track, you need to make that decision quickly to either go another lap or let them go and find a place in the traffic to slot back in to get that right-hand side. As we watch Tony Walker now go through the final. Oh, never mind, the warm-up's done there. But Tony, if he had somebody on his left-hand side, would have to stick to the right, and if he wanted to go into the pits, then he'd be in the perfect position to do so. If he was on the left, then he'd have to either let the person go through or just try and get an overtake done quickly, which isn't always going to be the case with a track as narrow and bendy as this on the final sector. But our feature race has a top 15 reverse grid from our first race, so it is as follows, with Stephen Gobel and Jamie Wilson occupying the front row of the grid, and another Gobel appears as Silas goes in third, with Tony Walker finishing off that second row. Row 3 has Tamaz Asboff and Dietmar Hughes, Tom Woodcock and Carl Hardy. Row 4. Row 5, and making up the rest of the top 10 is Isaac Price and Logan McKinsey. Just behind them is Andrea Stefanina and the very consistent Evan Kiso. 13th place, we have Jaden Scotton with Jack Brown in 14th. Just behind them is Stephen Walker and the high flyer from the last round, Michael Hall, up 20 positions. How high can he go in this feature race? Nico Meyer in 17th with OD Payne in 18th. She had a fantastic first race. That is Laura Miser, who starts in 19th, and next to her is Jamie Ayres in 20th. Josh Trasler will occupy 21st, with sister teammate Thomas Kuhn in 22nd. Jura Laakkonen of the pros up in 23rd. Will be looking for a much more positive second race, but has a lot of bodies to get through to get that done. Thomas Dandridge is 24th, and we got our first light flasher. Keep it coming. Though it'd be funny if no one flashed just because Pete's not here. But Jura Laakkonen in 23rd, with Thomas Dandridge in 24th, Andy Littler in 25th, and Josh Taylor in 26th. Christian Hendricks will occupy the 27th, with Hilton Nicholson in 28th, Jeff Saunders in 29th, and Chris London in 30th. Wobbly in 31st, and Alex Rogers in 32nd. Two pros there looking to carve through the field. Chesney Van den Broeken will have the finest views of that carving in 33rd, with Pascal Werzijn in 34th. Sorry, Pascal, for mispronouncing your surname again. PVG in 35th, and last place, Anton Weiler, who is on the grid and ready to gain. And we got that done just in time as the lights go out for the feature race. And both of the VTS Esports cars, and beautiful camera angle just there on my side anyway, with really good side starts, and that is off the track there. Tony Walker manages to get back onto the circuit and has to back up a little bit, not taking a decent line through Clayton's corner, and that has allowed those who are fighting from the reverse grid to bunch up and just try and take as much of an advantage as possible. Now with the faster cars meeting the slower ones into the very quick turns 4 and 5, and now Stefanina off to the outside, but just narrowly misses out on the wall. How is your rejoin, Stefanina? Very lucky
Perfect.
that Laura gave you the space there to move on that one, and luckily no major instance there as an SRG car goes off, and I think that might be Evan, and that is Josh Taylor, and I think Tony Walker as well off the circuit there. Two meatballs.
Oh, we're missing the tower for some reason.
Yep, three meatballs just there. Weiler as well as Taylor and Nicholson, all with meatball flags, as well as looks like Rogers and PVG not entering this race for the feature. And wow, that's as soon as we start saying how well everything's going, someone decides to make me look like a dirty, rotten guy. But still some fighting going on behind, as it looks like Jamie Ayres and Laura Meiser is at the moment fighting into turn number 1, and Laura's going to take the outside line, and she's going to retain that position versus the battling Jamie Ayres. Front 3, no changes there. Gobel, Wilson, Gobel. Then Tamas Asboff is the first of cars that have made a position at the moment. He'll be looking at trying to get as many points this round and try and fight again for the championship he very nearly gained last season. At the moment, biggest climbers on the field. We've got Stephen Walker up 6 places to 9th. As well as that, also up 6 places, Wobbly Kneecaps in 25th, just in front of Chris London on camera here, battling it out with Pascal. Also got just behind, whereas Pascal is up 7 places. Oh, nice fight here, and this is for 4th place at the moment for the right to challenge the 3 who started on row number 1, and that is Tamas Asboff. Connecting, and Tamas camp it out. Tamas, don't get on the circuit. Oh, and I think that, oh no, that's definitely the rear wheel off. We got hit there.
Yep, that was gone.
Yep. I just watched a, oh no, Tamas. Oh, and Tony, wow, great control from Tony there. Tamas really needs to wait for every single car to go by there before they could get over into the pits.
I think it was a massive cut brown for Tony.
Yes, if I would not blame Tony at all if a few bad words came out of his mouth there. Really feel Tamas should have waited until everyone was definitely passed before even inching forward, because even seeing a car inch forward can cause someone to get completely spooked out and spontaneously throw it into a wall. But at the moment, we're looking at this 4-way fight at the moment. Battle for 17th place. We've got Josh Trasler in the JC Academy Sapphire car, with Jura Laakkonen just behind. behind Yura. Got the duo of Laura and Thomas both fighting it out. And then a gaggle of cars behind. Josh is going to have a bit of a task on his hands if he's going to try and keep any of these behind him right now. But I'll tell you what, whilst Josh is doing all this defending here and keeping everyone behind, those just in front, especially Stefanina, Odie Payne and Mayer in 14th, 15th and 16th, they'll be happy to have that gap behind. And that's wobbly again.
Oh, that one's a big one.
That was a big instant just there. Well done, everyone's slowing up just there. That's Jeff Saunders slowing down. Jamie Ayres getting the jump there, but wow, that's Littler, London, wobbly. I'm just wondering if track wasn't as wide as wobbly, with a great pass on the inside, and and just a bit too much speed just there. And that's twice now wobbly's been taken from behind live on stream, and we still haven't been taken down for it.
Well, we know he likes it, but not on track.
Yeah, that's twice now wobbly ejected from the race, and he can't be blamed for any of it. Just the cars behind just having too much speed, with him in front effectively running him over. And that's I know it's probably the very minority of feelings in here, but I really feel for wobbly on that one. There's no way they deserve that at all in either race, to be honest. But the race must go on as those repair in their meatballs now. It means opportunities for others who were behind them, especially Christian Hendricks up 5 places at the moment in 22nd. We've got Jura Larkin up 6 in 17th. Unfortunately, DMR, who's not having the greatest of starts from their feature race, down 8, but still in the race and still in 15th. Currently on camera now, Silas Gobel currently leading the AMS. Just behind Jamie Wilson in second place. I tell you what, Stephen Gobel right at the moment leading the way with a Honda behind, who is doing enough to keep the rest of the quick competitors behind. This is currently a Gobel domination right now in this feature race, and I think fans couldn't be happier about it. It's nice to see, and this is the point of these reverse grid races, to not only is it great entertainment for us watching the fast people come through the field, but also those who don't always get a chance to be at the front get to show exactly what they're capable of. And Stephen Gobel has been given the ball, and they've run off with it. They don't care.
And it's the way you see like unusual winners in feature races or in the sprint format also. It gives a chance to people that would probably never win a race to actually get a chance to win a race that was close to the wall. It was
Logan on the inside, and unfortunately 3 does not go into 2 there, and that is Silas Gobel getting knocked off the circuit. And what do I keep saying about the luck? And a little bit of a tap just there for Michael Hall, but luckily Gobel keeps it to the inside and not much more damage is there. I saw Logan going on the inside of turn number 1, was blinking out a little bit there. I just wonder if that spooked out either Price or Woodcock. I didn't see exactly who was by the side of them there, but it spooked someone out enough to put Gobel out onto the grass. But yes, one of my favourite races. We'll go into that bit actually after this. Let's have another replay. And it does look like it was Price.
Oh yeah.
Price thinking that Logan was still on the inside there. Gobel maybe not getting the call that it was 3 wide. Obviously, those in the middle of those packs will always get the 3 wide call. But if you're diving in on the inside or you're defending on the outside and you're much more in front or behind that middle car, you're not going to get the same calls as that inside car, which ultimately holds the key to it being a nice clean corner. But going back to your point, Sam, about rare winners, I think my favourite one would still be, I think it was season 21 or season 20, Rain at Montreal, and I'm trying to remember who it was who got the win from Pro-Ams. I think it was Freddie Van Eekhoven?
Yeah.
Eekhoven, yes, one of my favourite cases of surprise victories there. I think second to that would definitely be Jaden Scotton's first ever victory for BSTV as well, and that was when he was still in Pro-Ams as well. So yeah, memorable moments for sure with grids like this, and Gobel could potentially join that very prestigious club, though we've still got a very long way to go, and Jamie Wilson is only a second behind. Just watching all these cars, these clusters, gaps of 4. It's technically a team battle here right now, as both the switch-it cars of Christian Hendricks and Laura Miser defended against Thomas Dandridge and Thomas Coombe right behind. Cuddle's asking, is Gobel and Gobel related? I think so. Is it brothers or cousins or
I think it's more father and
uncles?
son.
Father, son. Oh, that was going to be my third option after that one. Yes, related.
I
I'm
think,
not quite sure.
but not 100% sure. It's which relation is the relationship between them. I think it's
There's a-
father and son or something like that.
There's a bloodline there somewhere. Lady Cupcake, I can only thumbs up once. Hopefully someone has seen that. Can only thumbs up once and has thumbs up the stream for you to add an extra one on. So thank you to anyone who decides to do that. At the moment though, this fight right now for second place, if Tom Woodcock and Jamie Wilson start fighting a little bit more, that could be what Stephen Goebel needs to try and stretch this gap out. But I've said from the start, an undercut here could work wonders for you, but at the same time, if I was Isaac Price, Logan McKenzie, Jaden Scott and Stephen Walker, then maybe a bit of fuel saving could potentially be pretty good here. But look at this now. Tom Woodcock's going to have the inside, Jamie Wilson's going to have the outside, and these two fighting on the S's is going to be music to Gobel's ears, because this is going to waste so much time, especially for those behind fuel saving. They have to really hope that Gobel doesn't bring it into another gear until, if there was contact there or a spin, that would have slowed down the entire field. And now look at this cluster behind. To the chopper we go. And is it going to be a late dive from Isaac Price? No, he's going to give Tom Woodcock a little bit of a push. Jamie Wilson is going to try and hang on and get the outside, but cannot do it. Logan McKenzie boxed in, but is going to have the inside here. And now Jamie Wilson's has somehow held his arms back, spread them apart like an eagle, and has kept two pro cars right behind. But Isaac Price sniffing on the inside. Now Jaden Scott and Stephen Walker are going to be joining on this battle as well. This is great for Tom Woodcock. Gobel has gained half a second as well in the lead. Got to hope that Tom Woodcock's not going to start running quicker laps than him. And wow, Jamie Wilson's still able to keep all these through. Logan McKenzie is not going to mess about. Extremely methodical in how he fights cars. Jaden Scotton managing to get past Isaac Price. Jaden will not, and is not the type of driver who wants to be stuck behind people. They are more about pulling away and using pace to get away rather than saving fuel. They'll only save if there's absolutely no other tactic to use, I find. But this is the closest and the biggest train on the entire field. Those who have just joined us, this is the feature race, and straight away, and that is Jamie Wilson and Carl Hardy both going in for potential undercuts. They are the two cars you lot now need to keep track of until this main group. Just hearing us that was a lapped car actually moving out the way for Gobel. So Jamie Wilson and Carl Hardy, wherever they come out, I'm just having a quick look at the maps. They're still in the pits. It could be potentially quite a long stop because they're going to have a lot of fuel going in. They exit, and they are going to have a fair bit of a gap between them and Jeff Saunders in front. In fact, a big amount of clear track in front. And now that the top 10 have seen this as well, I don't know about you, Sam, but with that much clear space in front, you might get a few more people jumping in the pits very quickly now.
I
As it
think
will be a
it's cool.
it could be a slightly shorter stop. Or do you try and follow Logan, who's got mountains of pace, a lot more pace than what Jamie Wilson probably would have? No offense to Jamie Wilson. Logan is a very quick driver. Maybe Logan could get you a few extra couple of attempts, stay up behind Logan, try and fuel save a little bit, means a shorter time in the pits fueling up, plus you're running at a quicker average speed. It's a lot of things to determine here. And Jaden right onto the back of Logan. And I tell you what, if Jaden ends up trying to throw a move past Logan here, not only is it going to be good for the top two, but also those who pit early, Jamie Wilson and Cal Hardy. They'll be watching intently.
Yeah, I think Wobbly needs to go check the medical center because his sentence is completely wrong on the chat. But you're totally right. The thing is about them, if they don't fight too much, they can draft. And that might be the biggest disadvantage of pitting alone and early. So
Yeah,
there's a bit of both, and if they're fighting, it will counteract the effect of the advantage they've got from the draft, but it's still there. So we'll see when one of them comes into the pits and when they get out, compared to Jamie and Carl.
Yes, as I just saw them go up that camera there, I just looked at the front of Logan's car. I'm pretty sure, my eyes might be a bit weird, but I'm sure his car right now, Logan's car, might have a little bit of damage on the front. Now, I think that's one of the, that is Jack Brown going into the pits now. So, may have seen exactly where Cal Hardy and Jamie Wilson have come out. So keep a watch on Gobel as well. Gobel and Brown both in the pits. Gobel is out with a meatball flag. Wonder if that was from the turn 1 incident. It'll be interesting to see exactly where they come out when it comes to Jamie Wilson and Cal Hardy. And Jamie Wilson and Cal Hardy are in front of Jack Brown, and it's by a second and a half. Oh, and that was so close behind from the SRG car. That was Evan Kiso nearly finding a way past Stephen Walker at the most unconventional passing spot on the entire track. You do not want to be going too wide into turn number 5 with how high those curves are on the inside. I think anyone who's in this group right now, I don't know if it's going to work out for them unless they're going to just try and drain their tank dry. So if I was the likes of Evan Kiso, maybe Stefanina as well, I'd pit now. Cut your losses, because I don't think it's going to work out for you. And none of them have listened to me, so maybe they know more than I do.
Maybe, but they're battling, and it's costing them a lot of time. That's the issue.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just having a quick look at the latest lap times. Let's take Isaac Price, who we currently got the camera centered on at the moment. The last lap was a 1:23.94. I'm just having a quick watch as Jamie Wilson goes past the line with a 1:23.89. So at the moment, it's only a 10th quicker per lap. But that's Jamie with nobody directly in front of them. So all it takes here is one person to try and overtake on somebody else. And any time that you lose from that is directly affecting the time that you're running against those who have pit early. But it's a fascinating battle nonetheless. There's a lot of stubborn people in this line here, and a lot of people who really believe that a shorter pit stop at the end is either going to be much safer to guess how much fuel you're going to last with, or they just have that much belief that Jaden and Logan will actually carry on working together. None of them, they're just going to keep to it, I think. But maybe they think that only losing a 10th to Jamie per lap isn't actually going to be that much of a loss.
Well, and I don't think they lost anything on the previous lap, because Jamie actually did a 24.0.
On the lap just gone now? Oh, just
The one before, yeah.
Right, just going to see what he does this lap. He's going to be going over the line very, very shortly. So previous lap was a 1:24.05. This lap now is a 1:24.25. So actually, You know what? Maybe they are keeping track of the times, but yeah, actually, this group be I might be getting proved wrong right now, but it looks like now that everyone's behaving and not actively fighting each other, this could be the faster group. However, not to put a dampener on much at all, and it hasn't happened this lap, but it could potentially happen very shortly. Tom Woodcock is within half a second of our race leader, Stefan Goebel. If they start fighting to the point that this group behind, led by Logan McKenzie, catches up, then do we start to see a lot of people jumping into the pits?
It might be a thing. When they catch up to these two, if they do, time to get in and get your pit stop done and not be involved in the slower traffic, when I call them, because they're actually a bit slower, although it doesn't show right now because they're actually lapping at the same speed as the guys behind.
Oh, that's too wide behind, and that's Isaac Price losing 1 place behind, could potentially be 2. They did run an outside line onto Clayton, so they can occupy that inside for Quebec and not lose too much space, but that puts Stephen Walker up 10 places at the moment. Your race 1 winner is now in 5th, and now it's causing a little bit of unrest with everybody behind Logan and Jaden. Logan and Jaden can just get along with their day, but there's a bit of unrest behind, and it could cause a few people to possibly try and jump a few places. Speaking of, at the moment, we've got now Jack Brown catching up and passing Jamie Wilson and Kyle Hardy. Jack Brown having a absolutely phenomenal week, but always a little bit of a tap. There's a second tap, a power slide from Jamie Wilson, but just manages to keep it. And Jamie Wilson, and there was a lot of bumping behind the cars there, and Jamie Wilson has retreated to the pits. Oh, and that's a spin just there as well from Isaac Price. I wonder if there was a coming together with them and Evan Kiso. Kiso also in the pits. So there's Price just there, and oh, extremely late going into the pits there.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely horrible for Isaac Price just there. Was very late getting onto that road for the pits. Evan Kiso, meanwhile, chose her line quick. Oh, he probably thought Isaac was going for a pass on the inside there of that corner instead.
I think that's what happened, yes.
Yeah, and Isaac jumped across to the pit line and pit maneuvered accidentally, of course. That was never on purpose. It did, from what I judged that replay just there, it did look like Isaac was going for a pass there, or took the line to go for a pass. Instead went to the pits where Kiso had already committed. And that's unfortunate for both drivers, because that's going to, although there's fast repairs, that's going to slow down Kiso by a fair bit in this battle for the win and to extend their lead at the top of the Pro-Am table. Tom Woodcock has taken the lead via Stephen Goebel going into the pits. Goebel probably not fancying battling with Tom Woodcock for a couple of laps, and instead giving him the lead. Jaden Scotton has got ahead of Logan McKenzie, by the way. I don't know if you got that event in here. I didn't see when it happened. I wonder if that happened at the same time Isaac sort of went on the inside. Maybe there was a bit of a concertina of cars. Jamie Ayres, meanwhile, with a black flag entering the pit lane. So Jaden Scotton, this is towards the S's at the top. There's not a lot of room here, and Logan decides not to fight it. Actually lifts enough to let Jaden go through, and Logan just shuts the door there on Stephen Walker. I just wonder if this is what caused the big concertina behind it. Yeah, that was very late from Isaac, especially from that camera angle just there. Yeah, great, good pass and opportunity there for Jaden. Logan lets him have it, and it has caused Logan to lose 2.5 seconds on Jaden here, but at the same time it's made this race a lot more interesting, Sam. Now everybody seems to instead of being in one big group and possibly having the same strategy, now we have multiple different strategies and paces to keep our eyes on for the second half of this race.
Yeah, we already passed the halfway point of the race, which is insane when you consider it.
It's gone quick.
Yeah, that's the whole race went over in this one. It's been quick. Tom Woodcock under pressure now from Jaden.
Yeah, Jaden just, I feel it's, oh wow. Yeah, this is going to just be a matter of time. If I was Jaden, just sort of set up the exit of turn number 5. But it depends how much Tom wants that Pro-Am victory. Tom might even just let Jaden through, to be honest. That's also a possibility.
And try to keep up with him.
Yeah, potentially. And that's Logan McKenzie getting past, and Jaden will not want to see that behind him. Andre Stefanina is now released. But Logan might try and fight this, or might try and fuel save some more. Let's have a quick look, and oh, tell you what, Logan's feeling like he wants to get a race in on this one. This is great for Jaden. Now 3.5 seconds in front of this battling group of pros. Do any of them retreat to the pits? Does it? Oh, and that's late from Stephen Walker as well. That was another really late one there. Tom Woodcock's gone into the pits as well. So Jaden is your new race leader and will be taking a couple of bonus points for first place. Now has Logan McKenzie 4 seconds behind, and now setting up the chase. That's another case just there, Sam, and hopefully it doesn't happen too often here where people are jumping into the pits that late with people around them. We've already seen one accident happen tonight, and I'll be honest, that's probably the first time this season I've actually seen an accident like that during a feature race of any of BSTV's races this season.
Yeah, I think it's the first time I see that. I can understand why the late pit entry is faster with all fast Steven went in.
Yeah.
But you actually cutting the yellow line if you do that. iRacing probably doesn't optimize you for that, or when they wouldn't do it. So it's legal in iRacing, so we've got nothing to do with it. But it's making it really dangerous if the guy behind pits with you and actually gets in your inside, thinking you're not going to the pit. So that's exactly what happened with I think it was Isaac and Evan.
Yes, Andrea just going quite early to the pit line there, making their moves known. Stephen Walker getting past Gobel, who started this race in pole position, down 10 at the moment, but plenty of people are yet to pit. If Gobel can keep up with Stephen Walker, gives them a fantastic window of opportunity here to keep that race win. He does have Tom Woodcock less than 1 second behind. We've got a few more jumping into the pits. Still to pits, though, is the entirety of the top 7 up to Christian Hendricks. Hendricks at the moment leading the AMs, but OD Payne at the moment in the pits themselves in 16th place, currently leading the AMs. That's who Christian Hendricks is in direct competition with at the moment. But yes, top 7, none of them have pit yet. Looking through the grid to see if there is anybody else, and there's not. It is literally the top 7. So surely it's a case of now you've made it this far, you might as well just keep saving fuel until the end of your stint, right?
Well, yeah, it's something with Joffen in V8, and it's probably the same for TCRs. You've got the early guys that get in as soon as they can to get fresh rubber and try to do the undercut. And then you've got the guys that go all in and wait till the last minute, probably to put maybe 1 liter less than anybody else with all the fuel saving they've done during the race and stuff. But yeah, it's really interesting to see, and obviously there's some that do pit in the middle like I used to do. So you just cut your operation out because I'm not good enough to do an undercut and not good enough to do an overcut. There's probably other people like me that do the same and split it in half. Although there is not really an effect in TCRs, unless that changed this season with the new build.
There's you don't need to change your tires in these 40-minute races, not at all.
Yeah.
Still go about an hour with them, to be honest. So it might be. I think they were still changing tires in the enduro race, but it was very slight how much of an advantage it was be. And Tony Walker with the advantage on the inside there, and Thomas Kuhn, he gets the move done, and now only down 12 places. So a good fight back from Tony Walker despite the earlier incident. Now be looking to maybe grab a couple more places after that. Your leader, your race leader, is in the pits. Logan McKenzie in second. Michael Hall has gone into the pits as well, so Logan has stayed out. Might be the same for Yura as well, as Logan is your new race leader, and Yura's stayed out too. That will put them up to second. Jaden and Michael coming out of the pits very, very shortly. Interested to see how much in front of Stephen Walker they will be. Jaden going to the exit now. He will be in front of Stephen. I'm not sure about Michael Hall though. That one could be a little bit closer. And there's
Not
Michael
even close.
Hall coming out of your screens just there. Probably just keep it into the top 10 or just come out behind him. And that's a lot of traffic for Michael Hall to be thrusted into. To one of the SRG cars behind, teammate as well, and that's a very wide line from Andrea Stefanino and Michael Hall right at the back there. Nearly a wobbly-esque incident happening there, and Stefanino getting run over. But Michael probably not going to be too happy about being in the middle of this cluster of cars here. But as it stands, Michael Hall has had a fantastic second race as well, up 8 places, and well, in 8th place. The biggest climber at the moment, still yet to pit though, Jure Laakkonen in second place, up 21. Be interesting to see whereabouts they're going to end up if they run their tank empty. Feel they're still going to be about 10 places up as Logan McKenzie jumps into the pits. Logan was in front for a bit, so would have had a lot less corners to fuel save. Jure Laakkonen has done the same. That is the last of the cars to go into the pits. We keep our eyes on Jaden Scotton right now. Can Jaden make that early burst of speed and fight? We're watching out for Logan McKenzie and Jay. There's Logan just saying Jaden returns as your race leader. Stephen Walker will go back up to second place. And I think we might potentially get Tom Woodcock up into third. Depending on if they slot behind, they're going to slot behind Logan here. Good pit stop from Logan. That's an overall podium position there. And Tom Woodcock doesn't have to battle into the next couple of corners. Meanwhile, behind him, championship opponent Gobel letting Stefanino through, which is going to give a little bit of breathing room to Tom Woodcock. So overall, good race so far for Tom. Up 3 positions, but leading the class. And Evan Kiso has taken an opportunity to overtake Stephen Goebel as well. So your championship leader for Pro-Ams up into second place in class, 7th place overall. And this is the closest battle on the track at the moment, from position 5 to 10th. Jack Brown having a fantastic week at this circuit, fighting Gabel for a podium position here. He's going in for the kill now with 7.5 minutes left on the clock. Takes that final podium position in Pro-Ams and can now focus with a tiny half a second gap on catching up everybody else in front. But Jaden Scotton, your race leader, Stephen Walker in second place, and Logan McKenzie third for now. Fortunately, despite all of these positive position gains up to Jack Brown, do have, if we go further back, those who have lost their footing earlier in the race, those who have maybe been involved in a couple of incidents or dodged a couple of people. This includes the unluckiest AM on the planet, currently in 23rd, down 20 places. Silas Gobel, I said it, and I've said it so many times tonight, Sam. Silas Gobel is the unluckiest driver on this grid right now. They have proved time and time again, this race and every single race that they've raced in this season, that they are arguably the fastest AM. Just somehow it it doesn't finish like that with this race. He's always, whether it's through themselves or somebody else's mistake, just always on the wrong end of incidents.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this time it's actually something they've done, because the pit stop was 1 minute 15, the pit lane time, compared to everybody else doing like 40 seconds, thereabout. 35, 40 seconds.
Wonder if there's tyre changes then.
I think,
Potentially.
wasn't it like a
Accidentally.
black flag maybe? Like entering the pit lane and speeding or something. I think I remember seeing someone getting a black flag entering pit lane. Might not be Silas, but
It's a
yeah,
shame we
something
don't
happened.
have a flag history or anything like that to show like all the off tracks, all the black flags and stuff like that. But there was a nose on the inside there of Stephen Goebel. Carl went for it. Slight bit of resistance from Stephen Goebel there. Carl backs out to let Goebel keep the position. Now continue their fight, I'm sure, from this corner onwards. Speaking of fights, Andrea Stefanina nearly less than a tenth behind Tom Woodcock right now, just taking every single ounce of slipstream they can get. This is going to go too wide into the S's. Woodcock ideally does not want to just give Stefanina the position here, because it could cause a chain reaction that causes not only Michael Hall to get an opportunity to make a pass here, but Evan Kiso as well. And ooh, it's a very it's going to be a cutback just here for Stefanina, but there's actually a little bit of contact there. Michael Hall going up the back of Stefanina. Stefanina had literally nowhere to go. Michael Hall probably couldn't see an extra car in front there. Michael Hall having a really great exit. It is side by side. Michael Hall is pushing Tom Woodcock to keep that inside line. I think Stefanina's going to get this overtake done here. He's going to have the inside line by default. Goes back on the inside. Is Michael Hall going to take advantage of this as well? He is by the side, and they are literally brushing the paint off each other. Woodcock might be able to get all the way in front, a car's length in front by the corner. They do. Is Michael Hall going to chance it at turn number 5? No, they decide to just hold out for another couple of corners. Stefanina with a... I don't think that was quite the line Stefanina wanted out of that corner. Missed the second apex, but have managed to get enough speed to perhaps hold off Tom Woodcock from having a nibble at the inside at the end of this straight. Be interesting to see just how quick this Audi of Michael Hall is compared to the Hondas of Tom Woodcock and Andreas Stefanina. So, I thought of Woodcock going in for a move there. He stuck his nose in. Not quite enough to make Andrea worried about Tom's positioning. Michael Hall with a great exit to the S's. I don't know if it's going to be enough for an inside pass here. Tom Woodcock turning quite early into that corner, allowing Michael Hall an opportunity to get more speed on the outside. A lot of tough defending from Tom Woodcock at the moment, and Michael Hall slightly losing his footing on that corner. That's allowed Evan Kiso a chance to make a move. He cannot, which then allows Jack Brown to finally get that position that he's been craving. This battle will continue through turns 4 and 5, I should imagine. They're going to give each other plenty of space. There's a little bit of a tap in, just like Chesney. And that is the championship leader for Pro-Ams, ricocheting off exactly the same as what happened between, I think it was Pascal and Chesney in race number 1.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Might be a drop round for even.
Yeah, great. And then that's despite a fantastic first race as well. But that was almost... Oh, and we nearly got a third one there as well. The JC Academy car, Josh Trasler, just keeping out of the nose of Laura. And yeah, it's going to be the case of, is it a bit of understeer just there? Kind of. There was a bounce on the late on the curb, which I feel I've seen in the officials this week. I've seen Chesney earlier in race 1 sort of clip that same part of the curb as well. And that's unfortunately... so unfortunate for Evan. Everybody else in Pro-Am under their breath will be slightly laughing and cheering for that though, because now they've got an opportunity to catch up on somebody who is so fast and being a very consistent performer in the Pro-Am category.
Yeah, it will open the door for sure. We'll have to see what it does to the championship when the drop scores kick in. It was a flawless run so far, but most of the time everybody gets a bad race, and hopefully tonight was even bad race, and it's gonna be all good for him for the rest of the season, and you put that behind you and you go again next time. That's it.
Yeah, I fully expect Kiso to just pick themselves back up and back to business as soon as next week. But yeah, it's unfortunate seeing it happen in the race. It's been a danger corner for many drivers so far, in and out of the league. And yep, turn number 4, just before the double right-hander of 5, it claims another. 6th place is looking a bit spicy at the moment as we just have a quick look there. Stephen Walker is just under 7/10 of a second behind Jaden Scott, and Jaden is losing a little bit of pace per lap. The Audi could arguably be a little bit quicker on this circuit than the Honda, as we might be about to see here as well.
He's running out of time though. This is the last lap.
Oh, it is. Good spot. Final lap then. And Tom Woodcock holding on to that Pro-Am lead. He's got Michael Hall behind, but he does not want to give him an inch, because just behind him is 2nd place in Pro-Ams, Jack Brown. There's a change of positions between Thomas Asboff and Odie Payne in 22nd, but this is the battle to watch at the moment, keeping an eye on the front 2, and Jaden Scotton could just edge out a win here with Stephen Walker. And Tom Woodcock going over to the side, not giving Michael Hall an ounce of slipstream in there. But Jaden Scotton, a great burst of speed when everyone else decided to try and fuel save. And it has worked well for him, as Jaden Scotton is your winner of the feature race at Canadian Tire. Great result for Stephen Walker as well. And a podium position for Logan McKenzie. Meanwhile, Michael Hall is a drag race behind. And Jack Brown just squeezes.
Wow.
Jack Brown just gets the win by less than 0.02 of a second over Tom Woodcock.
Well,
Woodcock will be absolutely gutted with that. Jack Brown, he has just absolutely pulled off a fantastic end of the 40-minute race there. We're still waiting for the winners of AM to come through, and that is coming around the corner now. Thomas Coombe goes through and gets the win for AMS, with Christian Hendricks, your championship leader after a poor first race, picks it back up with a 10-place gain and gets 2nd place. And Laura, she gets a podium here as well, 18th place.
Yeah, I think Jack Brown can go and to Michael and say thank you very much for that move.
Yeah,
without Michael's always move, Tom stays ahead and gets the win of Pro-Am.
Can we get a quick replay of that pass there for the end there? Because I sort of half saw it as I was looking at the timing tower there, but that was nuts. So this is the move that decided. Yeah, Michael Hall wanting as many points as possible. Michael Hall's got his own team championship, and that sort of took Tom Woodcock's pants down, and that's how close it was, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Brown stealing it, just a paper whiff, some would say. That is brilliant. Fantastic finish to a very, very entertaining feature race. So, with your results as they slowly make their way up to the top, Jaden Scotton getting the overall win, top place on the podium by just over 1/3 of a second of Stephen Walker. Logan McKenzie will occupy that 3rd place on the podium. Andrea Stefanina and Michael Hall rounding out the rest of that top 5. In rounding out and getting that 5th place, Michael Hall definitely had the final say when it come to the winner of Pro-Am. Jack Brown and Tom Woodcock in one of the closest photo finishes for a class you are likely to see this season. Carl Hardy and taking up the final step in the Pro-Am standings just there. 8th place overall. Stephen Goebel having 9th, and Eurolachtan with a fantastic second race, up 13 places to take a top 10. Isaac Price, despite the incident in the pits, just finishes outside the top 10 with a solid amount of points. 11th place with Dietmar Hoos of Cutting Corner TCR in 12th. Thomas Dandridge with a good race as well, up 11 places to 13th, and Nico Mayer up 3 to 14th. Unfortunately for Tony Walker, an early incident shaped the rest of their race, but they did still manage to get it just inside the top 15. A lot better than some of the pros this round. Thomas Kuhn, Christian Hendricks, and Laura Mazer make up not just 16th, 17th, and 18th overall, but also 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the AMS. Josh Trasler just behind with sister teammate Jeff Saunders in 19th and 20th, respectively. Silas Goebel, the unluckiest AM of the season so far. It's every time they go on a good run, just something just pulls the rug out from underneath them as they get 21st. Same, very similar things happening with Tamas through the S's today. Relegates them down 17 places to 22nd. Odie Payne, 23rd with Jamie Ayres, 24th. Evan Kiso, after that pit lane incident and, of course, that ricocheting off Jack Brown before the entry of turn number 5, puts them down 13 places, and the leader of Pro-Ams will be expecting a much better outing next week. 25th for now, though. A disappointing first race for Chesney van den Broeke, but a very positive feature race outing puts them up 7 places to 26th. Andy Litzler, 27th, a good solid set of results for Andy this evening. Hilton Nicholson, not quite the evening they wanted, but they do get to 28th. They finish where they started. Same, unfortunately, can't be said for Jamie Wilson, and Instant and turn number 5 ended their race and put them down 27 places to 29th. 30th, we have Chris London with Wobbly, another freak accident for Wobbly, taken from behind to finish 31st. Pascal in 32nd with Josh Taylor in 33rd. We've got Anton Willer up 2 places, but still down in 34th. Alex Rogers and PVG not starting the feature race and being given 35th and 36th. In the chats right now, Hilton saying lost force feedback, hit the tyre wall by the pits. Tonight hasn't gone as planned. Meanwhile, as well, David Scotton. Good evening, David. I hope you are good. Hope you are well. Well done, son. Great drive. Absolutely was from Jaden. Jaden really putting the pace in whilst everybody else was trying to fuel save. And it was a narrow win over Stephen Walker, but the records would say that Jaden Scotton is your winner of the feature race tonight. But Sam, as we've both kind of requested, there's not going to be a lot of interviews tonight. There are a lot of people, however, in that interview room. We'll do a handful. We'll try and get through the class winners. I think we'll start off tonight with the winner of tonight's feature race, ladies and gentlemen, Jaden Scotland.
Good evening.
Evening, Jaden. Well done on tonight's feature race. We'll quickly go over heat number 1. So, decent qualifying, 3rd place in a track where the Honda might not necessarily be the quickest car on the circuit, but nonetheless, 3rd in qualifying and finishing overall P3 as well. It looked like a pretty interesting heat 1. A lot of battling going around, but not really that many positions changing in the top 10. Do you think it was just a case of everybody was so close on pace, or do you think it was just people just getting themselves ready to see exactly what parts of the track they'll shine on for the feature race?
I think a bit of column A, but also it's just not easy to pass here, really. Perhaps in the past when we had a more of a draft, but since they sort of nerfed slipstream, you don't really feel it that much down the straight. So it was hard to pass. But yeah, I was satisfied with race 1 really. Again, you can only do so much of this track in the Honda. It's an Audi track through and through. Um, but yeah, it was decent. I couldn't quite keep up with Jack. I think my tyres were pretty shot by the end. But yeah, it was a decent race one. And credit to Jack as well, because he's gotten scarily quick recently.
I agree. Watching on the strength of field races, Jack Brown is definitely a name that if they're not up there trying to challenge for the pro-ams by the end of this season, I definitely have them as an early favourite should they wish to continue in season 26 as potentially having really good top of the table battles with those in pro-ams. But the feature race, it's a lot more strategy, which should come as really no surprise on a track like this. You've already mentioned not a lot of places to get the overtake done. It's a difficult, a very narrow track. I would probably even go as far to say that this track's probably the Canadian Alton Park, but with I think it was Stephen Goebel and Tom Woodcock and Jamie Wilson sort of dictating the speed of the leader. Meanwhile, you had yourself and Logan sort of sharing duties as well. I'm sure there was another car on there as well. That might have been Tom Woodcock as well. Uh, what gave you the decision to break away from Logan, stop the fuel saving, and just carve your own path? Was this a calculated move here, or was it just a risk and just hope that everybody else fuel saving would slow up enough for you to blaze a path that they couldn't catch in the end?
I think I suppose got to a point. I think it was just past halfway. I think Logan was carrying some damage as well, which also had an impact. But at that point, it wasn't really gaining on the top two. I was thinking at some point I've got to make a move, otherwise I could run the risk of sort of letting the top two like sneak a win here. And I don't want to give up those positions. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna go for it. And I know Logan. Logan's a good defender. He didn't try to hold him up, but I knew that he could keep like that group behind for a little bit. I thought I'd make the most of that. I'm gonna break my break and see what I can do. That was it really. Um, and yeah, I think it went pretty perfectly. I have to say. Again,
Mhm.
even despite that, I nearly lost it at the end because, again, the tire gremlin came for me.
Yeah, I think the pit stop and the tactic worked to absolute perfection, whether it was meant to or not on there. Did see Stephen catching up towards the end. He was catching up at quite a bit of pace, but you held on for the win, and it's a absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic display from a lot of the drivers around your level on this track of many different strategies going round and yeah, yours just seemed to work today. But next week we have a super sprint at the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecke. This is the BSWEC chicane, which, to my knowledge, is the easier, more open chicane. I think this is also the track where we did the first ever super sprint for TCRs. So,
I remember it well.
yes, how do you do at the track?
I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I think it's one of my absolute favourite tracks on the service and in the TCR. So I look forward to it very much. And it nearly won back there. When we went there last time, I believe it's quite chaotic because we had some mixed weather. But the third race, I so nearly managed to beat Zaralegi to a win, but not quite. Maybe this time. You never know.
Yeah, I think I remember you gave him quite a scare on that one. That was people's first time doing the super sprint, so it was quite chaotic with three lots of 20-minute races. So three officials, one after the other, would send anybody new to the format crazy. But yes, it should be a really good time next week. I'm personally extremely looking forward to it. But anybody tonight that you want to give a shout out for, and then we'll let you crack on for your Spa 24 practice.
As usual, everyone at JC, good win for Thomas in race two, but especially because I'll be honest, there was no collusion here. but I couldn't have won that race 2 without Logan. So it was essentially a gifted win there. So I so much props to Logan for that one. And yeah, shout outs again. It was good standards. I should say that there were incidents around me, but everything that I experienced was good, hard, clean racing.
That's extremely fair. No, that's brilliant. Yes, you owe Logan a beer. See if he has subscriptions open on his YouTube channel for channel members, and maybe you can chuck him a 50 quid. Okay, maybe not that much. I forget the economy that we
I
live
feel like
in,
you're
but
speaking for me a little bit here.
hey, don't you lot speak for me when you say that I should be paying for you? Yeah, exactly. Turn the tables around on that one. But Jaden, thank you so much for giving us your time tonight on the track and in the booth. We'll let you crack on with Spa. Best of luck to that one, unless you're against my team, in which case I hope you finish second to us. But ladies and
That was
gentlemen,
surprisingly kind.
yeah, I know. Who knew I had it in me? But thank you once again, Jaden. Ladies and gentlemen, your feature race winner for tonight, Jaden Scotland. Always. Can you take your ducks with you, please? Get out of here. So we'll go, Sam, from the winner of the features of the pro. So we'll go from winners of the pro to the closest finish I think you will see in a class this season. Jack Brown, welcome to the booth. And first of all, brilliant entertainment for us to watch through both of those races, especially for the finish. How did you find tonight at Canadian Tire?
It was brilliant. I'm having some mic issues, so it might be a little bit choppy, but
That's fine.
honestly,
Cool.
it was an amazing race. I have put quite a lot of practice into this track because I have just had a big break off iRacing. So I'm just trying to get back into the groove of things, but that was the closest race I've had in a long time.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say about the practice. I've noticed, especially during the strength of field races and the broadcast on Tuesday, your form over the past month has been absolutely incredible. It's it's a joy to behold. Seeing you battling with all these pros, not just in this league but in the officials as well. By the way, congratulations on your fixed race win yesterday during the strength field. It
Thank
looked
you.
absolutely glorious on the broadcast. But the stars seem to be shining as soon as the end of qualifying. P2, which we don't very often see many pro-ams breaking into the top 5, but yourself and Evan Kiso as well, I think it was, managed to get an extremely solid qualifying. At that point, did you feel that tonight was going to be your night?
Honestly, I had mixed thoughts because I'm not used to racing up at the top. And obviously, with Jaden behind me, I was on edge quite a lot, but I did manage to keep it together and then just hoping his tyres would die, which went perfectly.
Yeah, the Honda, I've heard from Jaden already, did cause him quite a few issues at the end of the feature. It probably helped as well. There was a lot of battling. I can tell you now that the top 8 from qualifying didn't finish in any different positions. Everyone who started in the top 8 finished exactly where they did. So, but there's plenty of battling going on in between. So, yeah, it was a great Heat 1 race for yourself. And with the feature, with the reverse grid, putting you in 14th, climbing up to 6th, there seemed to be quite a lot of tactical undercutting with the pits, as well as a couple of incidents happening, especially with, I think there was an incident with Evan Kiso and Isaac Price in the pits. What was your strategy going into the feature race today? Did you have anything in mind, or was you just going to play it as it came?
I honestly just winged it. I did notice that everyone was battling straight away, so I did try to get into the pits as early as I could because I was just losing time. And then obviously when I came back out, it kind of worked out in my favour because I did drop quite a few places.
Yeah, and from all that, it like you said, it worked an absolute charm and a top 6. A massive assist to Michael Hall, I think, for that last last corner pass on Tom Woodcock. So you owe him a beer or two at some point. Yeah, Yeah,
certainly.
that was a great finish. I'm still absolutely amazed. It was less than 200ths of a second between yourself and Tom Woodcock. So commiserations to Tom there. But to be honest, it was a brilliant win on Clash just there. Next week provides a little bit of a different challenge. It's the super sprint with 3 20-minute races around the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecke. This is the WEC chicane layout, which I still can't remember if it is the more open chicane, but I think it is. How do you run at Nürburgring Grand Prix track? And are you looking forward to 3 sets of 20?
I have not raced that track since I first got my rig, which I think this will be interesting with the new TCRs. But hopefully, I have the same pace as I did this week.
Yeah, to be honest with how you've been this past month, I would be surprised to not see you within the top 7 or 8 drivers there battling it out. But we look forward to it. But before we let you get off and get some practice in, anyone you want to give a shout out for tonight?
Tom Woodcock for giving me the win. I mean, he wasn't too happy about it.
Begrudgingly.
But yeah, shout outs SRL lot. And to be honest, that's really it.
I think Tom's in the YouTube chat right now. Straight away is showing all his support for you, how much he enjoys racing you by straight away Jack for Pro. But
I'll
it's
take
too
Pro.
late, Tom. Maybe just get quicker at final corners. Jack, thank you so much for giving us your time on the track and in the booth. Enjoy the rest of your evening, the celebrations, and hopefully we'll see you on track next week for the Grand Prix Strecke.
Much appreciated. Thank you, Jay and Sam.
Take care, Jack.
You too.
Right. Before we get on to, I think we'll do another. Are you okay with 2 more interviews,
Let's go
Sam?
for 2. Yeah.
Yep, 2 more. Right. So I think we'll make this one. I'm having a quick look. There's a lot of people to choose from here. I think we're going to go with Stephen Walker first. So, Stephen Walker, welcome to the booth.
Hola,
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
muy bien, ¿eso?
I don't know any more Spanish than that. I wish I had Pete here right now. I'm getting scared. I'm getting nervous. I'm sweating.
That's all right.
Stephen, fantastic set of results tonight. Absolutely blazed through qualifying. And the top, I literally just said it to Jack a second ago, top 8, none of them changed position at all. But I tell you what, Jack was quick tonight. You couldn't really bridge as big of a lead as you probably would have hoped for in the first race. Less than 2 seconds by the end. Was there any point during that first race where you just felt you needed to concentrate a little bit more than you perhaps wanted to, just in case there was that window of opportunity that the group behind would capture?
Yeah, literally the first, I think 5 laps because I felt a massive struggle on the cold tires here from the start. Like in the official yesterday, I didn't notice it until I did that. And I had no confidence in the car, but then the wind direction for our race is much different. Is different to the official, so actually it's a bit less risky. You had like a wind coming towards you down the back straight rather than behind you, so
Ah,
it was
right.
less chance to lose the rear, and you could brake a little bit deeper. But um, I'd watched a lap that Isaac did in the official, so I was just taking it easy in that first race. I was trying to figure out. I was just trying to keep the tires alive, really, because I felt like I had good pace in the second half of the race. So I just needed to, like you say, focus and not make any silly mistakes during the first 5 to 7 laps, and then keep my head down. And again, because yeah, if I'd made one proper big mistake, I would have been right back in it and dropped down. The pace was so quick; everyone was running pretty much the same laps. Really, I was only a tenth or two quicker than um Jack behind me on a few of the laps, and it sometimes it switched. I was um figuring out where to save fuel on one of the laps and nearly crashed. Um, you go down the hill and come back up to the double right hander. I nearly went off. I was like, okay, I can't brake that late. But it was more about trying to keep the tyres alive, to be honest, because I felt them go off in the official again yesterday, and it was slightly cooler though tonight in hours. So yeah, the first race was just about capitalising on the car. I think this week the Audi's the better car for this track. So obviously because it's so varied each week, you have to try and capitalise on when your car's better. And I quite like this track, but it's difficult to race on. So track position qualifying, I didn't expect to get pole with everyone that's in here, but I mean I'll take it. And then yeah, I just basically did what I needed to do. Really got pole, fastest lap, and won the first race. And then let Lady Luck take over for race two because my god, that was mental.
Yeah, I was going to touch a little bit on this one. You made a fantastic point in your description for race number one. The corner that you nearly lost it on was, I did on stream say the most likely place anybody is going to end up making a mistake is probably in between 5 and 5B. That double right-hander got so many people over the officials going too wide, opening up that corner. But tonight there was actually a lot of people going too wide into turn 4 and ricocheting off each other into the wall. It's been quite fascinating.
Oh,
It's been quite
blimey.
fascinating to watch through the night. But yes, race number 2, there was a lot of pack battling going on, with Gobel and Jamie Wilson and Tom Woodcock for the most part, really sort of determining the speed of the pack. And with this being such a hard course to pass on, a lot of people were just left at the mercy of the pace of the person in front. There was the Isaac and Evan incident, it going into the pits, which I think fragmented it a little bit. And then some
Wow,
people
I
started
feel like I saw something in my mirror. Yeah.
yeah, there was a big incident going into the pits there. But then also it was a case of people taking chances to try and get away from the group. What sort of mindset was you in that group? Did you already have a plan in action, or like you said before, it was just lady luck and like quite a lot of people I think did tonight, just play it by ear?
Yeah, well, I when you start 15th on a track like this, like straight away, I was like, I'm just going to save as much fuel as I possibly can. Like, take a cue from Mr. Pete, save fuel, extra fuel tank Newman. So I was basically just focusing on that from the very start of the race to see um if that could help. Obviously, if there was opportunities to move forward, then I needed to take them. There was a few things that happened on the first the first lap basically, and then it settled down. I think I made 6 positions on the first lap or the second lap or something like that. Someone else went off, and then I was behind the fast guys, and I could see Jamie, Tom, and Stefan, I think it was, right at the front, and they were getting away a tiny bit, but I knew they weren't getting away too much. It wasn't until a bit later on in the race Jaden managed to get past Logan and started driving away, and I was like, if he goes and makes the gap, and I can't get past anyone, I'm stuck here. So I managed to get past Isaac on the only time he made a mistake, and I was like, I have to go for it, whether it'll stick or not, I don't know. Straight back to saving fuel. He was definitely doing the same as well. Because like we've said, it's difficult to overtake, especially when the pace is so close together from whoever you're racing. You have to really rely on them just nipping wide or just catching the grass a little bit and slowing them down so you can get the drag or something like that. So it was hopefully not get caught up in anyone's shenanigans, which this week I didn't, and yeah, just save a hell of a lot of fuel. I tried to battle Logan, but he knew that we've spoken about it. He was battling me a bit more than he was the others because I was in the Audi, and obviously if I'd got past it, it would have been a bit difficult. So that was fun. And at the end, I was like, I'm just gonna have to pit and just hope I come out. I wanted to stay out as long as possible, and I would have saved so much more fuel. But it all worked out in the end. I'd like to say, I think I had the shortest pit stall time. I only put in 8 liters. I had to save for 2 or 3 laps out of the pitch, only a little bit, to make sure that I could then go full sprint to the end. And obviously I almost caught Jaden. Um, one more lap, but then it's tough to get past anyway. So there's no saying I would have passed him. So I'm very happy with how it's gone in terms of racing, racecraft strategy, points total. I got no incident points for both races. I can't remember the
Oh,
last time
brilliant.
that happened. Obviously, pole, fastest lap in the first race. I don't think I quite got it in the second race, but um, yeah, I'm really pleased. It was just about staying safe, being clever, making moves when you could, and save fuel. It was quite. I knew I had the pace. I knew the car was good this week, and I didn't want to do anything stupid to jeopardize. Um, Probably my best season so far in about 2 or 3 seasons. Really, it's not been very good for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think last season you can definitely blame the Veloster for that one, but in this car, you definitely shown everyone else that Stephen Walker was always there. He's always there lurking, and if you give him a chance to win at a track that he's strong at, he will 9 out of 10 times do it and do it quite spectacularly. But a really solid set of results for tonight. Will it be the same for next week as we're on the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecke? It is the WEC chicanes to the more open ones, and it is the
Oh, okay.
super sprint, so 3 lots of 20-minute races.
Mental.
It will be.
That's
How do
going to
you
be
fancy your
mental.
chances there?
Well, it depends on which car is going to be have the couple of tenths advantage that seems to happen for the last 2 seasons. But I like the track. I like racing on that track. It's a good racing track, and 3 sprints is going to be hectic. So um, I'll actually look forward to that for once, and I don't very say that very often. So um, yeah, quite pleased. It'll be fun. It'll be tight racing, proper sends into that first corner, I think. Um, so that'll make sure you get that on camera and stuff like that. But yeah, should be fun. Should be good racing all around, I think, from top to bottom of the grid.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it as well as everybody else who is watching this right now. Final question before we let you get off for the night. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, obviously you guys for like Pizza Way, so I know you two have put the effort in and made it so I say this every week where we can watch ourselves back later on and enjoy the view. Thanks to you and Sam for doing that. The rest of the people for racing, I think it was clean. I didn't hear too much. But again, it's a very tough track to race closely with, and mistakes are going to happen. It's a narrow track as well, really. So just bear that in mind um, before protesting and stuff like that. Have a word or whatever. But yeah, just
Yeah.
everyone. My brother, for he got a bit unlucky again. He got caught up in the stuff in the first lap, but it was definitely just like racing, cold tires, bumpy curves, tough. It was just again very unlucky for him, but he had decent pace tonight, so pulled some time back, points back in the team's championship. So shout out to him, and it was nice to have Wobbly back for 2.3 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think he'll look to tonight too fondly on that one. Uh,
Yeah,
some
it's an
freak accidents on
understatement.
that one. Yeah, I would not blame him for voicing frustrations. Obviously, all complete accidents, but I think could have very well been avoided for both of them, 100%. But thank you so much, Stephen, for spending time with us in here tonight. Great set of results tonight, and we'll let you celebrate the massive points haul however you please. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Walker, thank you again for tonight, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Take care.
All right, Sam, we shall do our final interview if you're still with us and alive and kicking.
Kind of. Yeah.
Tell you what, if you'd not said anything at all and just kept on like quiet, that would have been like, oh no, he's gone. But for our final interview of the night, winning the feature race for the AMS, Thomas Coombe.
Hello.
Thomas, lovely to have you in the booth tonight. It's been we've spoken with the people towards the top who were quite regimented in their tactics, their driving, a bit of drama in the second race, but most of all quite quite clean for a lot of them. However, when we go to the battle for top of the AMs, it looked a little bit more ferocious. Not a lot of practice for yourself on this track tonight. A bit of insider information there for all. But with that, you sprung a great amount of gained positions in heat number 1, going up to P22. How did you find the first race of the evening?
Um, the first race was I was just trying to get used to the track really. I really struggled in practice in quali. I didn't really have the pace at all at that point. Race 1 was really just about trying to get as many positions as I could and staying out of trouble. I was just behind where the incident was at the hairpin, so I managed to go around the outside of that. And although I got a 4x, I didn't get any damage, luckily. But yeah, I was just trying to stay out of trouble, really. Because I know a few of the guys, like Chris and a few others, were having issues. So I was just trying to stay out of trouble, especially after last week where I didn't even make it past turn 2. So I just wanted to get some good finishes in tonight.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's worked out despite it being a bit rough along the edges. It looks like it's worked out pretty well for you on the way. Race number 2, the feature race for the evening, a jump up from 22nd to P16. But with it being a 40-minute race and a lot of traffic around you, did you? We've asked this to everybody tonight. Was there any plan in place when it come to when you wanted to pit stop, or like a lot of people have already admitted tonight, a lot of it was pretty much just winging it?
Well, I'm usually someone in the feature race and the endurance round who pits quite early to get out of traffic. And that was sort of my plan going into the last race, but I was obviously going to see how it sort of panned out. I was in a group with, I think it was Dandridge, Laura, and Christian in race 2, and I was sort of running the similar pace to them. I wasn't faster, but I thought if I can try and get out of the traffic, maybe I can jump one of them, or maybe 2 if I was lucky. So I pitted before them. I saw Silas was in the pits at that point as well. Obviously, he had an incident, which is a shame for him because he was really fast tonight. But then Laura came out the lap after me, and not only did I overtake her, I was like 4 seconds ahead. So I don't really know what happened with her pit stop, but yeah. And then it was just a case of waiting for Christian to pit, because I knew he was the other sort of person in AMS who was fighting really. And he came out a few seconds behind as well. So once Payne, because Payne was in front of me, but he crashed like the lap after he came out of the pits. So unfortunately, he lost the lead at that point, and I just really wanted to keep the position. And yeah, I managed to pull a slight gap and hold on to it to the end.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant, brilliant work, and brilliant description of the race just there. Christian Hendricks finishing just behind you by just over 4 seconds, I think it was in the end, is currently in the lead of the AMS, or before tonight was in the lead of the AMS Championship. Uh, is it too early to talk about yourself and maybe those around you challenging Christian for that championship, or are we going to keep it on the low down for now and spring a surprise towards the end?
I think at the minute I'm going to keep it on the low down.
Oh, come
I want to challenge for the championship. But obviously last week I had a no point race. Alton Park, I had an accident as well, so I've pretty much used probably my 2 drop rounds for the season already. So I can't really have anything go wrong from this point. If I want to try and challenge for it, but yeah, I'm hopeful I can mount a championship challenge. Obviously, last season Fraser was miles ahead, and I I ended up losing P2 in the end. So I would like to challenge for the championship. I just need to try and avoid these rounds where I'm not scoring many points like I have for a couple of the rounds so far.
That's completely fair. Fair enough. Maybe more. We'll try again next week for some more fighting talk. Maybe not WWE promo level, but we'll get there eventually. Next week, though, speaking of, is a super sprint, 3 lots of 20-minute races around the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecke, the nicer, more open chicane. How do you run there?
It's one of my weaker tracks. I'm not a big fan of the Nürburgring. I much prefer the Nordschleife than the Grand Prix section. I'm not. Depending on what happens with England at the weekend, may determine whether I'm even here next week. So, but yeah, it's not one of my favorite tracks. So if I do miss it, it's not the end of the world in my opinion, because it's probably going to be my worst results for the season out of the tracks that are left. So, yeah, if I do turn up, I'm not expecting too much, but I said that tonight and it ended up going well. So who knows?
So you heard that, Sam. Thomas is basically saying he's winning the lot.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yes. Okay. Final question before we let you crack on with practice for Nürburgring next week or Spa 24 practice. I keep forgetting that's on as well. Anyone you want to give a shout out to for the evening?
Just you guys on the broadcast, the JC Academy guys. It was great fun being in the chat with them again. Congrats to Jaden on winning and to Logan for P3. He was also in the chat with us. So yeah, it was good results for both of them. And yeah, just to all the guys in the league. It's always fun racing here. So yeah, shout out to everyone really.
Fantastic, incredibly worthy shout outs there as well. A few people thanking Logan for stuff tonight. Yes, I'm sure Logan will love another one there, another notch on the. I was about to say bedpost, definitely not. I'm just going to say staff or instead of us, we're going to get a lot of complaints. All right, Thomas, thank you so much for giving us your time tonight. Go enjoy the rest of your evening and the week. Come on, England, and all that. And speak to you again soon. Take care.
Cheers, thank you.
4 fantastic interviews there. Not blowing my own trumpet or anything, but also 2 fantastic races, Sam. It was a lot of action. Towards the top, it was nice and neat for the most part. A lot of battling, a lot of elbows out. But on a track like this, where there's not a lot of places to pass, there's still plenty of places to battle. And I think with your fantastic camera skills, we were able to catch quite a lot of it tonight.
Well, hopefully, not everything, because there were battle everywhere for most part of both races. I think it was as expected tonight. Lots of battle, as you said, lots of shoulders shown, but not too many incidents, which was good.
Yeah, absolutely. And next week, it's 3 lots of 20-minute races at the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecke. If it's anything like the first set of super sprints that we had there, it could potentially be chaos. But on to the homework that I gave you at the start of the evening, Sam, and that is to choose a driver of the day. Me and Sam get a choice for who we think is our driver of the evening. We can both choose the same one if we desire, but there are a lot of people to choose from, a lot of people with some fantastic races. We could look towards the top with Stephen getting a first and a second place, Jaden obviously getting the feature race win. We then have the likes of Evan Kiso, who had maybe not the second race that they would want to remember, but keeping up there and consistent with their times throughout the night. Jack Brown for having a fantastic showing in Pro-Ams. And then we can't forget as well, Thomas Kuhn getting the win for AMS. But do you have anybody in mind, Sam, that you want to give your drive of the meeting to for tonight?
I have one in mind. As you said, there's a lot that could get it, but I think Michael All, for what he did, okay, he's a pro. Okay, it might be considered easy to come back through the field and do something like that for a pro when there's so many AMs and pro-AMs. but that track is so difficult to pass. I think it was an insane drive to finish fifth. I think it was in the feature race, coming from 36 in the first one.
Wow. When you put it like that, absolutely. I'm glad you chose either Michael or the person I'm going to choose, because if whichever one you would have chosen, I would have chosen the other. But yeah, no, Michael Hall with a last to fifth challenge completed. Could have got an extra position on top of that, but Stefanina managing to keep the 2-second gap there to deny Michael getting any higher than that. And I tell you what, for the team's championship, the performance of that second race, it could be a difference maker in Result X Pure Sims keeping that team's championship. I would have gone for Michael Hall, but as you went for Michael Hall, I am going to go with somebody else who I think has had just as impressive as a race overall, and that is going to be Jack Brown, finishing the feature race at P6. Jack has, and we heard it during his interview, just been practicing and practicing, getting quicker and quicker, not just in the leagues, but in the officials as well. And to be a pro-am, and I mean, in practice, he was the quickest in practice. His qualifying time was actually slower than his practice time. If he'd have got his practice time in qualifying, he would have started in P1. But through Heat 1, kept that P2 despite early challenges from Jaden and Evan. And then through the feature race, absolutely the closest thing you're going to get to a photo finish in the league this season, but also just keeping it in the top 6 and getting the wins for the pro-ams there as well. It's been a great one for Jack, and that's where my vote is going for. So we will mark that on the leaderboard. So 1 for Michael Hall, 1 for Jack Brown, and then with that, we have to say goodnight. We apologize for the interviews being slightly shorter for tonight, but we've it's been a very warm week, as it has been with the majority of Europe and the UK and various other places in the world. So the heat does kind of zap a lot of energy from us, but the energy has also been there in the track with an absolutely ferocious Heat 1 and feature race. If you're just joining us now, you need to watch the entire broadcast in its full for the races, because it's so entertaining. If you've raced tonight, I think you'll really enjoy watching back as well. If you haven't already, put a thumbs up on the stream, subscribe to Backfire Simsport TV, and in the video description, check out the website and the Discord as well. And hopefully, we'll get to see you on track, whether it's here with the TCR, on the weekends with V8, or in the week 13 with the Pit Stop Cup, which has both TCRs and V8s, as well as for this year, the Renault Clios. But before we go over to Sam for our final word for tonight, we will see you hopefully for the next load of broadcasts coming from Backfire Simsport TV. Next time you'll see us with the TCR is next week at the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecker. We hope to see you there for super sprint action. Check the website out to see current tables and stand-ins. And hopefully, after you've double checked, you put a thumbs up on this stream tonight, we will see you at next week's broadcast. But we'll go over to Sam now for the final word. Thank you all for watching tonight. It's been a pleasure having you all in here in the chat and on the track. Over to yourself, Sam.
Thank you, Jay. Thanks for all the commenting today and taking the lead. And everybody watching, see you next time for TCRs next week. Good night.